Hello everybody, my name is Linkus7 and welcome to a brand new video here on the YouTube channel. Now today we're going to do a live 90% Wind Waker speedrun tutorial. Now what this is going to be is it's going to be a full 90% tutorial. We're going to go through the entire game. On top of that as well, we also have the chat up because we're doing this live. Like I said, we're doing this in one take. So chat is going to be with us. So if chat has any questions or anything to add, I'm going to try and keep up with the chat because, you know, as a speedrunner, it's kind of easy to look over some small details. So fortunately, we have chat with us here. I also have two things to set up that is going to help you follow along better. Number one, I have a controller, input display, and camera. So number one, you can see in the top left corner, the camera, where you can see how I actually maneuver around the controller. As well as right above my webcam, you're going to see a live updating input display right there. On top of that as well, if we boot up in the game right now, right after the intro cutscene has been played, you're going to notice that I have a little bit of a text in the top left corner, and I can open up this menu here. This is something known as the practice ROM. Now what this is just, it's going to make it easier to make the tutorial. This is a modified version of the game that allows me to use a couple of practice tools like cheat codes that allows me to practice the game easier. Now I'm going to be using this specifically for the early sections of the run, when I want to go into more details and stuff, or I want to reload a room so I can show you some alternate ways that might help you out a little bit more understanding how to do something and the run. I am unfortunately going to have to turn this off for the memory corruption aspect, which is a glitch that's going to come up a bit later in the run. But for the beginning and the end of the run, we're going to be using this specific version of the game. It's going to make it a little bit easier for you guys to follow along. Either way, right now, I'm actually right where you boot up in the game, right after you have gone through the actual intro cutscene of the game. Time starts when you select your file and you click on Start File and you go through the entire intro. It takes about 5 minutes, and then you're going to end up right here after talking to your sister. This is basically where the run starts. Now, if you want to do the fastest route, which is the tutorial I'm going to be working on today, you're going to have to learn how to do something known as manual super swim. Now, manual super swim is quite difficult to get down, and it's going to require a lot of hours of practice, but I'm going to do my best to explain how you want to do this and everything you want to keep in mind when actually practicing this trick. So, first thing is when I head over here, the first thing is you can do two different things. Number one is the most advanced method, which is what currently only me and Demon, the first and second place holder, does in the run. That is something known as a unbuffered manual super swim. Now, before I get into details on that, I want to go over just how manual super swim works in general, because you won't be able to get down either of them if you don't understand the concept of manual super swim. So, how does the manual super swim work? Well, as you can see in the top left corner, this is actually a meter that shows how much speed you have. So as you can see, when you swim, you're gaining up to 18 units of speed, and then that's it. However, as you see, when I turn around, you can see that it goes down for a split second, and then it goes back up to 18. That is a mechanic that they added into the game where if you turn around, you get actually 3 units of negative speed, so that you don't swim with full speed. Now, why this is useful is because if I pause my game and then I hold up, and because I'm facing downwards, and I unpause my game, right? You're going to notice that for a split second, I got -3 and then I went to 0, right? So now, for example, I have a -3. What this means is I now have negative speed, which means if I unpause my game, I just went slightly backwards. Now, obviously, this was not a lot because it was only 3 units. So what you basically want to do with this trick is you want to abuse the fact that there's no cap for how to go backwards. So what you want to do is you want to learn how to use a rhythm for pausing your game. So with Wind Waker specifically on the GameCube version, the menu has a very long pause time. So you want to learn how to frame perfectly pause your game. Now there's something to it as well that you want to keep in mind. If I accidentally press 1 frame early, like if I pause early right now, right? Do you see how no pause went in at all? That's because if you pause while it's unpausing, it's just going to eat the input like nothing happened. So because the rhythm is pretty slow like this about, give or take, you know, like you're probably going to be pausing around like this when you're new. If I accidentally paused 1 frame early, then I'm going to lose a ton of speed because it's going to take me a bit until I react to it, and I'm going to lose an enormous amount of speed. So what you want to learn how to do is you want to learn how to use a rhythm where you're double tapping the start button. So what you want to do is you want to start the game, then hold the opposite direction where you're facing. You then want to pause once to unpause, and then you want to double tap the start button. And you want to try and you want to try and learn basically a timing for it, where your first pause will hit the frame perfect window, and then the second pause is purely for backup, because if you nail the pause frame perfectly, the second pause is just going to be during the pause menu, which means it's going to be eaten up. So you want to try and do something like this. So right now, for example, I double tapped it, and I also hold my hand like this, because I don't like using my thumb. It's worse for my hands. So for example, now I'm going to hold up, and I'm going to double tap. I'm going to hold down. I'm going to double tap. And as you can see right there, for example, I just lost all my units. That meant that I got a 3 frame pause window. Now, basically, you just want to keep doing this, and you want to try and just learn how to do this rhythm. And you're going to notice a few things. So number one, now when I'm holding down, you can see that he's looking up. And that's because the pause menu actually has a 1 frame input delay. So you need to be thinking 1 frame behind, or ahead, I mean, every single time. So for example, if I pause 1 frame down, you're gonna notice that Link hasn't moved yet. Even though I got 3 units of speed, Link is still facing up, and it's not until the next frame where he actually turns around. So you need to be thinking 1 frame in advance every single time. So the best way to think about it is when you actually get into it, so like right now after my first pause, always hold the analog stick direction that he is facing. So right now Link is facing down, so you want to hold down and progress a frame. Here we want to do up and face a frame. Now I want you to pay close attention to Link in the middle of the screen, and you're going to notice something in a second. I'm going to try and get a 2 frame on purpose here. There. Do you see how Link turned up and down, right? Now, what ended up happening is Link basically, I got a 2 frame pause right here. What happened was Link turned around frame perfectly, then he turned around frame perfectly again. However, because there is a visual input delay of 1 frame, it means that right now, even if I hold up, for example, and I do a frame perfect pause, you're going to notice that Link is going to swim in a direction, so I didn't gain any speed, as you can see right here. But then you can, keep starting to do it again. And basically your idea is just to try and learn how to do this rhythm. So for a little bit of an example, I'm going to do this for a little bit right now. So this is kind of how I want to look like. And as you can see, by the way, you see that I'm not getting early pauses. If anything, I'm getting either the frame perfect pause or I turn around twice. That's because you always want to try and pause at a later time, because you only want to hit a second frame, never the early frame. The early frame will lose you a lot of speed. A second frame will not make you gain any speed, but it won't make you lose any speed, because you gained 3 units, then you lost 3 units. So you're back at 0, so nothing happened. So you always want to try and keep your rhythm at a slower tempo. So if you happen to miss it, you're only risking doing it late, not early. But yeah, so you want to keep doing this over and over again. And as you can see in the top left corner, right now, I have about 60 units of speed, 70. You actually want to keep doing this until you reach a point to where you have 500 units of speed. Now, this is obviously going to take a while, so I'm actually going to... You're supposed to basically pause for 2-3 minutes like that. You may get up to 500 units of speed. Now, I'm going to quickly just use a speed code right here to get up to that speed, because I want to go over exactly what you want to do when you have 500 units of speed, and that will take a while if I would do that every single time. So I'm going to basically use this fast movement thing right here and get into the water. So as you can see, for example, right now, that's unfortunate, I lost more speed than I was hoping. You can see right there, for example, I had 250. So you want to get up to about 500 or so. That's a bit unlucky as well. When you enter the water from the ground, you will lose a random amount of speed, so it can unfortunately mess you up. Actually, this would be a good idea to instead to show the cue you want to use. So when you're pausing in the water, right, you're obviously going for getting... you obviously want to attempt getting up to 500 units of speed. Now, you might be wondering, as a new runner, how do you actually see how much speed you have? Now, personally for me, I basically go mostly by feeling, because there is a way to check how much speed you have, but it is actually slower. So I personally don't like to do it, but if you're starting off, you definitely want to do it. So let's say right now, I don't know how much speed I have. Now, how do I actually check? How do I actually check how much speed I have? Well, you want to do something known as holding up ESS. So if you're holding slightly up an analog stick, you're going to see that Link is going to be swimming downwards right now. Now, if you look at how Link is moving in the water, you're going to notice that he's moving downwards towards the screen, but he's still pretty far up on the screen, right? And that's a problem, because you want to be fully zoomed out on the downwards camera, and you want to basically make it to a point to where you can see that Link is a lot closer to the camera, to where he's actually about to go off the camera. So if I actually get right here, so right now I have about 500 units of speed, right? So if I reach a point where I have 500 units of speed, which is the minimum you need to actually get this to work, then you're going to notice that something is going to be quite different when I hold this up ESS. What you're going to notice is if I hold up ESS right now to swim slightly up, you're going to notice that Link is basically moving part off screen. This is technically the minimum you can do. This is, however, pretty risky to do with this speed, because in a run, this could mean that I have 480 or 520 units of speed. You can't know, and 480 is not something you want to go for. Basically, what you want to use as a cue is you want to check so that Link is at least half of his body is off the camera, or that all of his body went off the camera. So I'm just going to go up right now to about 550 units of speed. I'm also going to swim away from the dock a bit. You're also going to notice that I'm holding slightly down, known as ESS positioning. This is because instead of losing 3 units of speed every frame I'm swimming in the water, he's only losing 1 unit. Now, what I'm going to do, like I said, is I'm going to hold slightly up. And as you can see now, you can see that Link is basically going almost off the camera. When you reach this point, you want to hold half of your L trigger down. So you want to put half of it down like this. You can see the amount of pressure on the input viewer. Then you want to unpause and pause the game slightly. And if you saw that Link moved off the camera, that meant that you just did it correctly. After that, you want to keep holding up ESS, don't touch the target. You want to let about 1 second in game go, like this. Then you want to hold all the way up an analog stick. Now, if you did that correctly, you're going to notice that Link is going to be doing this. Now, what is this and how does this work? Well, basically, why I just entered target camera. The reasoning I had to hold half of the analog stick down is because if you held the, why I held the L trigger halfway down, is because if I would have held it all the way down, then you would have had to do that pause I showed you frame perfectly. Well, right now you had multiple frames. And if you look in the top left corner, you can see that I'm getting a ton of speed. This is basically just because you have so much speed that you can turn past the camera in 1 frame. And every single frame, if I pause buffer here, you can see that he's basically turning around. So that's basically what's happening right here. Now, normally, if you would do a run, also, you're doing inverted, but yeah. So now, normally, if you would do a run, you would not be on this side of the beach. You would be basically going from this spot right here. So you'd be spinning around here. Now, the second part you want to do is you want to get an area fill. To get this area fill, what you need to keep in mind is you need to remember that the game is always, the visual cues is always 1 frame delayed. So because I'm swimming backwards, you might think that right now would be a good time because I'm facing the island. That is incorrect, however, because of the 1 frame input delay. So that means that right now I'm facing away from the island, which means then I want to hold it down ESS, because that means that then 1 frame is going to progress due to the delay, and then he's going to swim down. And now I'm moving towards the corner. Now right here, you want to be careful in like ESS change, so that right now I'm holding down right, because you want to get in this corner right here. Now when you get in this corner, what I recommend when you're new to this is holding just slightly down, unpausing, and then moving your C stick to the right. And at this point, I recommend you to never move your thumb, because you never want to risk dropping ESS, because then your run is dead. You only want to hold down, and you simply only want to use the C stick to move the camera. Now, another thing to keep in mind is how you're going to maneuver around the ocean. So I'm going to give you some hints. So right now, I went with a left angle. So as you can see on the left right now, I see that right there on the left of me is a circular island, which means if I keep going up, I'm going to see one of the reefs. Now, on the left of this, there's going to be great fish. That means that in the middle of the ocean, there's 2 reefs. And you want to head towards the left middle reef because, these 2 reefs right here, this reef right here, I'm going to target so I can swim in place. So right now I'm swimming in place, and this is the second reef right here, right? Now, the problem with the second reef is that this second reef island actually has, you can see right there, actually. Do you see the submarine right there? You can probably notice that there was a submarine in the ocean right there that can load. Now, this submarine can kill all of your speed, so you never want to go too close to that reef, because if you accidentally touch that submarine right there, you can see it right now on the left of me carefully. If you touch this submarine or these platforms right here, you will lose all of your speed. So you want to make sure that you go from the left reef and do not go close to the bottom of the right reef coordinate, because then you are going to sploosh on these islands. So what I would do is basically when I'm coming up from the ocean, I'll be coming up in an angle like this. I'll be looking for this reef. I'll be going towards it. Then I want to turn right, and it's gonna make me look towards the second reef. So basically like this. So I'll be coming from here. I'll be coming in here. I see the reef. I'll see the second reef, which means that I'm going to be towards the top of it, not the bottom, because then I'll hit it. Then you want to move forward. You're going to see Dragon Roost in the distance, and then you just want to keep swimming, and you're going to make it to Dragon Roost, and you should be good. And if you never dropped ESS, you'll be fine, because as you can see, even though my speed is dropping, you can see that I'm not dropping that quickly. Like, I'm maintaining my speed very well, and because I have unlimited air right now due to my practice codes, you can notice that I can swim for an extremely long period of time. That's why it's so useful to keep holding this ESS positioning, because it's really going to allow you to make it to a lot more areas than you're supposed to. Now, the second thing I promised to mention is the unbuffered manual super swim. Now, this is going to be very advanced. I'm going to keep this pretty simple, but if you want to try and do the unbuffered part, before you go to this corner, the reason we do it in this corner, by the way, is because you get an air refill, so you're not taking any air. What you would want to do is you want to basically stand here. You want to unplug your controller. Now, while it's unplugged, it's obviously not registering anything. And I want to hold slightly to the right, and then I want to plug in my controller. Now, this is actually now considered to be the center of my analog stick, which means if I release it, you're going to notice that he's automatically going to be swimming a slight amount to the left. The reasoning with this is useful is because if you hit neutral, like I said, you will lose a lot of speed, so you never want to risk hitting it. However, right now, my dead zone is actually all the way to the right here. So what you're going to do then is I like to grip my controller like this, because you want to be sure you can pause the game quickly. So I grip it like this, and then I move my hand like this. Then what you basically want to do is you want to go up, and then you want to go down and then up. Now, as you can see, he's not going straightly up and down. And that because of that, you want to do it pretty quickly, because if not, then he's just going to want to swim to the left. But basically, you just want to go forward, and then you basically want to start flicking the analog stick. And if you start flicking the analog stick, then as you can see, I'm getting a lot of negative speed right now. So, oh, my hair is getting in the way, but yeah. So if you're flicking it up and down, then you're noticing that you're going to gain a lot of speed like that really quickly. And that is going to allow you to basically get the first part of the manual super swim without actually doing the pause buffering part. And then, yeah, when you're done, by the way, instead of having to unplug the controller, you can do something known as a controller soft reset. So if you hold start, Y, and X for 3 seconds, then your controller will automatically get reset, so you don't have to unplug it. There's also a command for soft resetting, which is start, B, and X, but I'm not going to do that right now. But yeah, so you want to do that, and then, you know, you want to follow the last part. So do that. When you head to this corner, you want to pause buffer. You can check my PB if you want an example. But yeah, and then, you know, you do the unbuffered part, and then you basically can make your way. Now, I'm going to go where I was supposed to go, which is Dragon Roost. So I'm just going to use this code right here to go towards Dragon Roost. I can give another example of how it would swim. So going here, I see a reef. I turn to the right. I see the second reef. Go towards the top of this. Then you go to the left, straight angle towards Dragon Roost, and you're good. And I have now successfully made it all the way to Dragon Roost. And when you make it to Dragon Roost, then you're simply just going to get a cutscene with King of Red Lions, and you're now about to get the Wind Waker. Thank you, by the way, Camo, for the Twitch Prime 11-month recently, nearly 12 months. Thank you, Original, for the 5-month recently. Thanks for 5 months of amazing content. Thank you so much. Thank you, Potato Man, for the tier 2 3-month resub. I'm sorry I had to mute that alert, but YouTube goes bonka TOS with that. Thank you, Legend of David, for the 13 months. Thank you, Frank, for the 7 months, saying, is this going on YouTube? Oh, if this is, then hi, YouTube. Yes, Frank, it is going on YouTube. Thank you, Barbosa, for the Twitch Prime 2 months. Thank you, Maximum, for the 14 months. And thank you, Nezi, for the 1 year, saying a whole year. Thank you for the 1 year support. I really appreciate that. Alright. And we're now going to play the Wind Waker. And now we got the Wind Waker. Okay. Now when you have the Wind Waker, you're getting into the main glitch of this run. And that is known as storage. So, what storage basically is it's a glitch that allows you to do a lot of different things in the game. I'm going to get to each individual case. If you want a full tutorial on why it works, I have a tutorial I can link in the top right corner right now. But I'm going to go over how you do it, basically. So you want to simply equip the Wind Waker and go off a ledge. Now, you want to take out the Wind Waker when you climb up a ledge. Hey, Martina. However, the problem is, if you take out the Wind Waker when you climb up, as you can see, he can't really take it out. So what you want to make sure is you want to make sure you have the Wind Waker already in your hand. Because if you look at Link right now, he doesn't have the Wind Waker. So take out the Wind Waker and press B, and he now has it in his hand. This means that he takes it out in only one frame. So basically climb up the ledge, and then if you press the Wind Waker button within the first few frames of climbing up, then you're going to fall down. Now there's 2 different ways to do a Wind Waker dive, which is the first part of this glitch. First way is to climb up where there is a ledge close to in front of you. The reasoning why is if I'm facing a wall and take out the Wind Waker, Link turns around 180 degrees in a frame. And if you do that within the first few frames of climbing a ledge, for example right here, then he's so close to the ledge that by turning around 180 degrees, he will actually be above the ground where he's climbing the ledge. He's going to fall down. Like that. There's also a second method to do it, and that is by getting pushed off the ledge. So for example, if I climb up right here and I don't do anything, as you can see, Link is just going to get knocked off. Which means that if I time taking out the Wind Waker, it will push me off. Now, this is actually less consistent because you have less frames before the game pushes you off right here, while the camera trick gives you more frames. So you want to try and climb up at a part to where the rock is in front of you, but not pushing you down. So now you know the Wind Waker part of the dive. Now when you know how to do the dive, you want to know how to do storage. How to do storage is you want to press the B button exactly 3 frames before you land, and it should look something along the lines of this. That meant that it was too late. That meant that it was too late. That meant that it was too early. Now, too late. Too early. To tell if it's too early or too late, you're going to notice that, I'm not used to this timing, you're going to notice that if it's too late, he's just going to land completely flat like this. While if he's early, then you're going to notice that his legs are going to bend. Let me do it super early, like this. Do you see how his legs kind of goes, huh? That just indicates if it was early or late. Now, if you time it on the right frame, you're going to get like this. So as you can see, Link still has the Wind Waker in his hand, and the B button is still up, but I can't move. I'm still in the Wind Waker, but it canceled out of the Wind Waker. That meant that if I press B again now, I now have storage active. So if I, for example, take out the Wind Waker, you're going to notice that I can actually walk around with the Wind Waker, even though I'm not supposed to. Now, how I do it in a speedrun, and why a lot of people wonder how I can see that I get it, and that's why I'm not used to the timing of what I just did, is because I have a habit of double tapping the B button, because I don't want to take a time loss of waiting to see if I got storage, so I do it like this. So I basically double tap it, like, ugh, I'm really late. Like that. So as you can see, I kind of just see that the menu goes away, then the B button, and then it's all gone. So now I know that I have storage. After you've gotten storage, you don't want to do a super swim. Now, when you are in a super swim, you want to do a few things. So first of all, you want to learn that when you take out the Wind Waker, the controls will be inverted. This is going to be really confusing, so try and stay along. The controls of having the Wind Waker out in your hand with storage will get inverted based upon your camera angle, your distance from the water, and if you are in the water. And the directions of how it's inverted will change depending on all 3 of those factors. Your camera angle, your distance from the water, and if you're in the water. So in this situation right here, for example, I would want to go as far into the water as I can before I'm actually in the water like this. so I can then take out the Wind Waker. At this point, I know that Link's body is a majority-wise in the water, so it's actually not inverted controls, which means that I can just hold right, and he's now going to swim towards the right. However, if I walk up, look at this example right here. If I hold left right now, you're going to notice something. Okay. No, he's not going to do it. Okay, I guess this area is too close to the actual water. If you go up in an area where you're further away from the water, then you're going to notice that when he turns up from the water, instead of going left, he's going to go right. I'll show it on the next island. This is too close. The water is too close to this island. Anyways, when you get into the water then, you want to just simply hold up. Now, when you hold up, you're going to notice that Link is going to be turning around every frame. If I pause here, you're going to notice that he's going to turn around every frame like this. However, there's a problem with this. If you see, do you see that Link is spinning around right now? That's because this, even though it's turning you around, do you see how Link's face is angled towards the left slightly? Pay attention to Link's face. Do you see how he's looking forward and slightly to the left? That's because anytime you take out the Wind Waker, he's going to look forward and slightly left or slightly right. So how you want to get around that is you want to hold not up, but up and slightly to a direction. So right now, Link is looking forward and slightly to the left. What that means is I want to hold up and slightly to the right. That is going to even this out, so instead of him swimming purely up, he's actually, or in circles, he's actually going to be swimming pretty straight. So as you can see, I'm kind of trying to fiddle my stick to perfectly be in this line where he's just, where he's actually spinning around, but he's not spinning around, but he's simply just turning up and down. After you super swim, you then want to basically make the super swim. Now, I'm actually going to turn off my cheat code for infinite air, because I want to give you guys a good example into how you want to time these super swims, because it's very specific how you want to do these super swims. So, on this specific one, this is a longer one, I like to stay in the very edge where I'm still getting an air refill on the very edge, because I don't want to hit the beach, because then I lose all my speed. You want to hold up, and you want to try and, you know, make your analog stick be pretty straight so you're not spinning around and hitting the beach, and I'm still getting my air refills. At this point, I would be looking at my timer or counting out loud to 15 seconds. 15 seconds is half of your air meter. That will give you around 1,500 units of speed. I'm going to give you an example of that right now when I'm not getting an air refill, so you can get a good idea of how much speed you want to have for all super sims in this game. So if I'm just charging up speed right now without getting any air refills, you're going to notice that the air meter right now, you see that? You see the air meter in the bottom right corner? When it reaches about half, and I'm about to start losing air right now, do you notice how my speed is around 1,200, 1,300? That's about the speed you want to go for when you do a super swim. And that is a little bit less than 15 seconds. It's around 14 seconds or so. And that is the perfect amount of speed you want to go for when you do these super swims. So basically, charge up speed. That's why I want to get part of my water air refills. But you can technically do all of them without an air refill, but it's going to make the trick a lot harder. So let me just get up to the beach part again, and let me do it like I would do in the run. So charge up speed, and then when you count it to 15-ish seconds, like 14, 15 seconds, so you have about 1,200 units of speed. You can obviously now see it because I'm using tools, but normally in a run you wouldn't be able to see your speed. You don't want to pause. Now remember, with the pause menu, there is a 1-frame visual lag, which means that I want to pause my game when I'm facing towards the island. Because if I see the island in the background, it means that he's going to be swimming away now. Now, this is where it gets important. I want to make sure that I never go neutral. Because if I go neutral, I will lose a random amount of speed that can be half of your momentum. So at this point, I want to hold target and down ESS. So slightly down and hold target. Now I'm going to be swimming backwards. Now, there's another very important thing I need to mention right now. I'm going to do it on purpose right now so you can get an idea of it. Let's say that I make my corner too far to the left, so I go towards Windfall Island right now. Do you see how the game just voided me out with a white screen, and then I'm right now in the water here? That's because the game does not have enough RAM to keep loading things, and there's a specific check in the overworld to see so you don't overload the RAM in the game. So that means that if you get at any point in the super swim in the windfall coordinate, you will void out, you'll be in the water, and you're now screwed. The only way to save this if you're not going for like a competitive time is you could save and quit the game and then do a super swim all the way from outside island. So you never want to get even close to this island because it's going to completely kill the super swim. So what you want to make sure when you actually do this trick here is you want to make sure that you specifically super swim over windfall coordinates, so you never ever load the island, because that island requires more memory, and since you haven't gone through a loading zone after you super swim through the entire ocean, it's gonna mean that you're going to be absolutely screwed. So let me do this one more time, and let me show you kind of the angle you want to have, and also let me show you, if you are curious, how you want to angle change since you're kind of stuck since you're holding down. So I'm gonna super swim right now, and then now let's say I have enough speed. You're going to hold target and down ESS and then unpause. Now, let's say that I notice, oh man, I'm going towards windfall, which I actually am right now. What do I do? Well, at this point, what you can do is you can angle change from holding slightly down to down left, which is going to let you swim like this. You can also release and retarget to angle change like that. So you can basically angle yourself up. And you want to angle yourself towards swimming towards the fair island right here. And on the right side of you right here, there's going to be a giant submarine. You want to go up on it, and you want to take out the Wind Waker when you're on the ground, so you cancel the glitch, and you now are at this submarine. After this point, you simply want to enter it, and that is going to throw you into jail. Simply put, the game doesn't think that you're supposed to be anywhere but Forsaken Fortress 1 when you see moblins with lanterns, because you don't have a sword in your inventory. So it thinks, oh, he has to actually be in Forsaken Fortress 1, and it's just going to basically wrong warp you into here. You can now go through this jail cell. No glitches required. Just escape the jail cell and head towards the outside. Thank you, Broomsmap, by the way, for the 7-month Twitch Prime resub, and SSX for the 1 year. Thank you, Rock, for the 4 months as well. Yeah, thank you guys for the good lucks. I appreciate that. Okay. I'm now going to leave this door, and when I leave this door, I need to make sure that I have good movement the entire time. Because I have practice tools, I can redo this section, but there's a few things I want to mention. Number one, what you want to make sure is you want to go forward and then roll to the right. Because this entire area has a gossip stone text, and it starts around here. So you never want to roll in this area or press A, because you're going to be screwed. Now you might be wondering, why is that? Well, the reasoning why is because if you look right here on the right, you're going to see these lights. Their cycle starts the second you load this room. So if you ever waste any time from entering this room, you're gonna have to wait for these light cycles. So you don't want to do that. So the second you enter this room, you immediately want to turn the camera to the left. You want to do one roll, and then you just want to climb up without rolling again. After you get up here, what I like to do is I want to manipulate this moblin to jump to the left and break the pots. Now, for him to do this attack, you need to be a certain distance away from him. If you get too close or too far away, it will not work. So this is how I set that up. I'm going to look towards the left. I'm going to walk towards the wall and then do a full speed roll. After this point, I hold downwards and down left on the analog stick. And then I'm going to switch to down, and now I'm just going to make him hop behind me. And because he was hopping, you were close enough but never too close. Then when you finally stop in front of the pod, he's going to do the slashing animation, and it's going to break the pod. You can now pick up the stick, and you now want to spin attack him down from the platform. The reasoning why is because he's actually going to take falling damage, and he's going to take the quick spin damage, and that is enough to kill him in one attack. After that, I need to make sure that I go down right here, because right here there is two things. Right here left of me, there is a Gossip Stone cutscene trigger, but there's also a sword trigger. In the end of Forsaken Fortress, there's a sword that can spawn, and it only spawns if you hit the sword trigger when you normally would drop after watching the cutscene, and that extends about right here. So you need to make sure you walk up on the left side of those staircases, or you're not going to get it. After that, I'm going to roll through here, and I'm going to pick up these 2 red rupees, and I'm then going to roll down, and then I'm going to roll up here in between the lights, and I'm then going to go up here, and I'm now past the lights and I have 40 rupees. Now, you can do something known as a window jump. I can't set it up right now because you need full speed. The idea for this is you want to set it up straight like this. So you basically want to roll off of it right here with an angle like this. Now, this won't unfortunately work because I don't have enough speed right now because you need full speed. And if you look at my speed value, if I hold up and roll right now, you see I only have 19 units. While if I maintain perfectly timing my A inputs the entire time, you're going to notice that I was able to maintain more speed. Like right there, I had 22. So if you're coming from the actual like flat surface right here and you kept your rolls perfect, you're going to notice that you're going to be at 26 the entire time, which is why you're able to do the jump. If you don't get the jump, or if you don't want to go for it, because it only saves 4 seconds and you risk losing a lot of time, what you can do is you can backwalk off of this ledge right here and then hold up on the analog stick. And if you held up in the midair, he's going to grab this ledge in the middle window, I want to add, not the right side here. And you can then make your way to the next room, which is going to be this room right here with a chest. Now, when you get to this room, you want to do the storage glitch again. The storage glitch is going to be done by the camera trick. So you want to climb up in front of this chest, and you want to just do storage. Now, when you get storage, you're going to go up to this chest and just press A. Now, as you can see, I just now stored a chest, and it's going to make a weird sound. Now, that means that I got chest storage. That means that I have the collision right now of what you have when you're opening up a chest. So as you can see, I can actually walk partially inside of the chest. That's because my collision is completely messed up. After that, you want to go to this door, and you want to make sure you really go close to this wall, because otherwise that guy is going to go this. Yeah, you don't want that. After I open this door as well, I want to make sure that I roll towards the left side of this room, otherwise he's going to spot me. So you want to go a bit to the left, then you want to go right and forward, and I'm now in this room. Now when I'm in this room right here, you want to keep rolling this way, and you want to head over here. Now, because I have chest storage, I want to climb these walls, so there's a few things you want to do. So to get up on this bookshelf, you can't just walk up because of the collision. And you can't just walk up on the wall because it's not straight enough. But do you see that glitchy shadow right there? Do you see how the actual wall changes its model part way up? That's what you want to take advantage of. So you want to walk up with an angle like this to when you can't walk further. You don't want to side hop to the right. That's going to allow you to land on this next part of the wall. You then want to walk up and you want to stand on this bookshelf. After that, you want to back so you're at the very, very corner of it when you're not falling off. Then you want to see up, and you see a bunch of these pillars right here, like a bunch of like this things that's holding up the platform at the top. You want to see up, and the first pillar that shows, the one right there in the middle of my screen right now, that one right above Link, that's the one you want to use as a cue. You want to go until you're cutting off half of the pillar where your camera ends on the left side. At this point, you want to then hold target, and you then just want to do a side hop. That's going to make you land on this part right here. The reason you can't just walk up is because the first part right here doesn't have collision. So you can't just get up on the pillar from the start. That's why I have to side up on that part. So let me do this again pretty quickly. So go to the corner, side hop, and you're now up. At this point, you want to be very careful because if I walk up a bit here, you want to walk towards the left and up. The reasoning why is because if I accidentally walked up on the right here, if Link's head ever touches that floor, you're gonna void out in 1 second, and you're going to just have to redo the entire thing I just did. And you're screwed because the chest has already been opened, so your run is dead. So don't be sure not to go up on the part where you hit the roof. But if you walk up correctly, you're gonna be on the side here, and you can then walk off. Now, when the moblin is standing right there and he's smelling around, you can then walk up, and you can then open up the door without him actually spotting you. And you can also hear now. Did you hear that sound effect of the rupee? That meant that I just got the 10 rupees I stored from the chest. Now, there's something special you want to do right here. So, if I walk up right here, you're going to notice that there's going to be a moblin right here. Now, this moblin can do a couple of things. Right now, you see how he's just standing around, and now he's walking around. This is what you want to look out for. I'm going to reload this room, because if you actually are late on this, then you're screwed. You cannot be late on the cycle. The second you go through here, you want to make sure that you have absolutely perfect movement, because otherwise you're screwed. So immediately be ready to move. Then you want to pick up this barrel right here. You might be wondering, why do I want to pick up this barrel so badly? Well, if I try and move here, he's going to spot me, and you're screwed, right? He has spotted me. I basically would have been screwed. I would have been thrown back into jail. However, there's something you can do about this. What you want to do is you want to abuse a mechanic where the game shrinks Link's hitbox. So if I go and I pick up this barrel and I wait, and right now the moblin is sniffing, so you don't want to place it. You want to have this barrel over your head until the moblin starts to walk. Now, at this point, I want to put down the barrel immediately and then roll. Because of this, my collision is way smaller. He is absolutely blind for like a solid 5 seconds after you do that. So by doing that, it allows you to get past the moblin immediately. Now, how fast he stops sniffing and starts walking around is depending on an RNG. Sometimes when you make it up, you have to put down the barrel immediately. And sometimes you have to wait a second or two. So let's see how this one, for example, is. Had to wait a second, put it down. So basically, just do that, and you can then go past him, and you're now past him, and you never have to worry about that guard again. Now, for these Poseidon Walls, you want to tap the analog stick to the left, because if you're holding left, then you're actually, if you're doing the left animation, you can see how he goes fast, and then he's kind of like stopping every time. While if you're tapping, you actually save a few frames every single time, because he's actually making more of a distance. So you want to make sure that you're actually tapping the analog stick to the left when you do this. And then you just want to trigger the cutscene for this moblin. And now we can officially go here. And because I hit the trigger earlier, we're going to have the sword to spawn here. We can then get the sword. And you can now hit him. You want to hit him a total of 5 times. And then you want to do a quick spin. Normal hits with the hero sword does 1 damage. A quick spin does 2. He has 7 hearts of damage. So do 5 hits, then a quick spin, and he's dead. After that, you want to open up this door, and you want to go through this cutscene. I'm going to reach out a little bit for questions in this general talk, because there is nothing to go over in this part. Yes, this route only works on the Japanese version, I should add. I need to add that to the description and disclaimer. I forgot to mention that in this video, actually. You are indeed correct. Alright, for when we come up to Windfall right now, I simply just want to go to Tingle. So I'm going to head to the left right here, and then we're going to head up, and we're going to head over, and right now we're going to trigger the Windfall cutscene. One thing you want to watch out for is these kids. These kids have an incredibly big hitbox for talking to them. Even if you're facing the wall here, if you press A sometimes, you will literally read their text. So you want to be very careful with those kids. Then you just want to roll past Anton, don't talk to him. You're going to go up here, and you're going to go to Tingle. Now, Tingle, there is a way to do this optimally. What a lot of people do is they do this. So basically what I did right there is you want to do 2 side hops. Now, if you do 2 side hops, you won't make it onto the switch, but you will have to move the barrel. How you make it onto the switch for for Tingle in 2 side hops is you need to side hop once, walk for about 5 frames to the left, then side hop the second time. You can also hold left, walk for 5 frames, then side hop instantly. You basically want to make sure that you take, to simplify, 1 step to the left, either before your first 2 side hops or in between your 2 side hops. Because that puts you at the perfect distance in between the 2 pots. Because also walking left puts you slightly more forward to put you better in between the 2 pots. So you need to make sure that you do 2 side hops plus 1 step to the left. Otherwise, you're not going to hit the actual, like, as you can see right here, I pushed the second barrel perfectly, and it pushed me back to land on it. So you want to make sure you do that if you want to try the optimal movement right there. I find this, by the way, interesting for a live stream perspective. This is why I'm live streaming this. There's so much small stuff that, like, probably as a viewer you don't notice that I have to think about every time I do a run. So I actually kind of like these tutorials because it really gives a good idea into, like, what goes into this run and everything I think about. Right here, you want to do a storage. This spot, it works from here to here. This entire ledge is climbable. However, it's kind of glitchy. So what I like to do is I want to go up here and then hold right. The reasoning this is one of the more difficult storages is because obviously the frame window for falling here compared to here is different. So you have to kind of just eyeball it and kind of just try and get a feeling for it. So right there, I got storage. You're then going to enter the water. And you're going to notice right here that I want to enter the water behind these docks. So there's 2 parts of the docks that's very useful. This part right here on the outskirts, this actually gives you an airy feel because you're considered to be on the ground because you're under it. You can also do it here, but here is closer to the beach, so you have a higher chance of accidentally hitting this part right here. So what I recommend you to do is, I recommend you to go to this part right here. You also notice when I enter the water, what Alberto said, that I targeted my camera. That's because, like I mentioned earlier, the controls are inverted. So if I turn right, he's gonna turn, like, he's gonna turn the opposite way. So you want to make sure that, like, you're ready to memorize exactly how the inverted controls is for every island. But yeah, so then do what you said last time, basically 12 to 15 second area fill, or, you know, while getting area fills right here. This one, you don't have to get area fills for, it just makes it slightly more consistent. You then want to target, hold down ESS, like I said once again. Here, there's a couple of cues you can use for where you are in the ocean. If you had more of a down angle, because you wanted a down left angle, if you see that you see the reef on the right side of your screen, you want to switch to a down right ESS. If you see the Fair Island right here, then you want to change to a down left ESS, because you want to turn towards the right. Because you want to have a, like, down left angle. If you see the Cabana Deed on the right, you want to swim towards the right. Because you want to go to Bomb Isle, which is this island right here. And as you can see, on the right side of this island from where you're coming from, there is going to be a submarine island right here. And this submarine island is exactly where you want to go. You want to enter the submarine. Another thing I'd like to mention is how you kill your speed in one frame. So let's say this situation right here, right? I'm not up in the submarine, but I'm swimming. And if I let this go, I'm going to shoot all the way in the distance. What you want to do is you want to hold target and up. If you hold target and up, because you're swimming the complete opposite direction of where you're going, Link is going to kill all of his speed in one frame. And it's going to stop you dead in the tracks. And you can then just simply swim up. And you can then enter here and kill these guys. For these guys, these are not the green moblins, so you want to do 3 hits. 3 hits and then quick spin. You also want to make sure that you learn how to time your B slashes, because if you do it too quickly, it's going to look like this. You don't want to do that. That's a lot slower. You want to do it with timing, like slowly. For that glass guy, he's green, so that would be 5 hits and a quick spin because he has 7 HP. I also made sure I picked up the rupees that the rats knocked out of me there, because I need a minimum of 50 rupees right here. Now, as you can see, I got a submarine bottle, and after I get this, I want to save and quit the game. Anytime you save and quit the game, what you want to do is you want to do this. You want to pause the game, and this one as well, I'm going to equip these items. Then I'm going to press the A button. Now, after you press the A button to save, this is what you want to do. You want to press A, and then you want to hold your hand like this. You want all your fingers over your controller. You want to press A to save, and then you want to press in these 3 fingers. This is going to press in Start, B, and X. That is going to perform a soft reset, and you're not going to have to waste any of the time the game would normally do for its for the pause menu animation, but you're purely going to let the game save and then immediately reset. So you want to do it like this. As you can see, it's saved, and then it soft resetted the game. I get back to the title screen. You then go through the intro, and as you can see now, I spawn back in my file. I did save, I did get everything. And you're also going to notice that I spawn back a windfall. At this point, you want to go up here, and you want to go to this area right here, and you want to get another storage again. Now, before you get another storage, you want to make sure that you have specifically one thing in mind. Kind of forgot this required a Game Boy Advance. Alright, so we're back. I got the Game Boy. Now, for this speedrun, you actually need a Game Boy Advanced, and you also need a linking cable. This can be third party or first party, it doesn't matter. It also doesn't matter which region your Game Boy Advance is in, because it's region free, and also same with the cable. The reasoning why is if you turn on your Game Boy, then, you're gonna barely gonna see it, but yeah, if you turn on your Game Boy and then you use the Tingle Tuner item, then you're gonna notice that I'm gonna be able to connect this. And as you can see right now, it is actually connecting. Yes, it can be a Game Boy Advanced SP as well. I only prefer to use a normal Game Boy because it's easier to press the buttons because they're higher lifted up, but a Game Boy SP or a Game Boy works. It is now basically calling Tingle. It's trying to connect Tingle. It doesn't really matter too much what the menu is, but yeah, you want to connect him right here. Now, there is one important thing you want to know about the Tingle Tuner, and that is that in the Tingle Tuner, there is obviously a bunch of hints. You can ignore those because those are in Japanese. However, if you're in the standard menu like this, so you see like the wind directions here, you can see in the bottom corner right here, I don't know if you actually can. Let me see if I can move my light a bit. You can probably see that there is the A and the B button right here. The A and the B button basically just indicates the item you have equipped and also progressing your text. So if you press the start button right here on the Game Boy, you're going to get this menu up right here. Now this menu is going to give you a bunch of different items, basically showing you like, hey, this is all stuff you can buy. Now, 2 options to the right and 1 down is a red potion. This potion will allow you to survive a trick known as a zombie hover, and you equip them by pressing the B button. And you now have this equipped if you close the menu, so if I press B, I would buy a red potion. You also have the Tingle Bomb for 10 rupees. The Tingle Bomb is the item that is automatically connected at all times, so that's what you want to have right now. So yes, let the Game Boy be after you connect it. You want to connect it on Windfall, because it saves 2 seconds, because anytime you go into a new place, the Game Boy needs to get from the GameCube information sent to it, because it's actually a live updating map. So if you look at the Game Boy right here, you can notice how incredibly well this map works. If I'm walking around, you're going to be able to notice that it perfectly updates how I'm walking around on the island. And that is why it needs to send over the map information, because that is the main use of the Tingle Tuner. But yeah, so after that, I'm then going to just simply get damage. Now, there's 2 things you can do for this Super Swim. Also, right here, by the way, to clarify, I'm not holding target, and I'm simply holding down, because down is walking towards the camera, which is what's allowing me to basically walk straight there into the water. Now, after this, I'm going to hold up, and I'm going to charge up a lot of speed, and I'm going to get all the speed I require, and I'm then going to simply just get my area fills right here, because you need a lot of area fills for this. And then I'm going to target so I see Windfall. I'm going to hold target and down ESS, like I said earlier. This time, you're going to go downwards, and you're going to go towards the Fire Mountain. Now, when you get towards Fire Mountain loads very slowly. However, the game can actually load islands while you're in the unpause and pause menu, so you just want to pause the game here until you see that the island is loaded. At this point, you want to basically swim into the island. Now, when you're new, I do not recommend you to go for all of the HP, so I recommend you to go for most of it. So I'm going to take most of my HP here, and then I'm going to swim away. Now, let's say that you went for 1 heart, or B, you don't like the Super Swim at all. There is something you can do, it's slightly slower, but it's very safe. When you get to the top part of Dragon Roost right here, you can simply just use these bomb flowers right here to take damage, which is a very consistent and easy way. Because you want to make sure that you have exactly 1/4 of a heart of damage right here. Because coming up here is a trick known as a zombie hover. So, how do you do the zombie hover? Well, I'm going to have to pause my game a decent amount here, and I might do a take or 2 if I want to, depending on how well this goes. But yeah. So, what you want to do is you first want to take damage on the backside. Now, there's a couple of areas you can look for here. If you are very comfortable with your mashing and you think you can mash very quickly, you want to aim right forward here. If you feel like you're slightly slower on your mashing and you want to be safer, I recommend you to look for this part right here, because you have more of a distance of making it to this part right here, since that part is further away than this part. And then if I have the Tingle Tuner right here, I can move this Tingle Bomb right here. So if I press up, you can see that the icon in the game, you see it moving around, right? So you basically, like in this situation, right, we said we're gonna go safe. So I want to make sure that the bomb here is about like an upright angle of me. So it'd be something like this. So I'm gonna be looking, when I explode, as long as I'm looking close enough to the bomb, it's gonna make me get the angle of the bomb explosion. You also want to make sure that you have your sword in your hand. Make sure you have the sword in the hand. At this point, I'm going to press the B button, and that is going to then end up putting Link at 0 HP, and he's then about to stand up. Now, before I go over this, there's 2 things you need to know. There's a jump slash, and there's a mid-air jump slash. A jump slash is done by holding target and pressing A. Then there's a mid-air jump slash. If you're mid-air, and you press the B button, you will gain extra height, because you're doing a mid-air jump slash by just pressing the B button in mid-air. So what the goal is here is you want to abuse this glitch where when you stand up from taking damage, there is a short amount of time that you can do an input before the game over screen appears. During this time, you want to hold target and press A. After that, you do not want to press A at all, because A in midair does nothing. It does absolutely nothing. However, B in midair will do a midair jump slash, which gains a small amount of height. So what you want to do is you want to grip the controller, and this takes some practice. You don't want to press A, and then immediately after, you want to start mashing the B button really quickly. Now, this angle I'm going over right here, the safe angle, this only requires you to mash an average about 11 to 12 times per second. The straight angle, less distance, requires you to mash faster. If you want a full tutorial on all the different methods I recommend for mashing and how to learn how to mash and the way I grip my controller, I will put an annotation in the top right corner of the screen right now for a full mashing tutorial I have on YouTube channel. But I'm going to show you on the controller cam how I actually do this. But yeah, so what I'm going to do here then is I'm going to basically explode myself with a bomb, and then I'm going to try and do the zombie hover. So I'm going to basically do this. So I'm going to move the Game Boy here, and then we're going to then simply just explode ourselves, and then we're going to start mashing. So let's try and do this while I keep this on camera. This is going to be a bit difficult. All right. Now, as you can see, I'm hovering too fast because I make it up on the roof there. So I need to like actually slow down my tempo because this is a beginner method. Now, when you get to about this part and you're getting closer, you then want to pause your Game Boy. However, you cannot you can't pause your Game Boy on this screen. So you want to pause and you want to equip the red potion for 20 rupees, the third item on the second row. And you want to unpause. Now, right here, what I want to do is I want to unpause my game, press the B button, and then listen for Tingle's sound. I'm going to increase the speaker all the way to the max. I'm going to put it close to the microphone, so hopefully you can hear Tingle sounds, because it's very important, and I'm going to call out exactly how you know when you're going to get healed. And if you pause, if you have the game paused when Tingle tries to heal you, it won't work. So yeah, so let me try and do this. So, right now he's healing. Kalimpa, bum bum, brum. Now, after this, I'm gonna cancel this right now, by the way. But after he does the ho yo kalimpa bum bum, and then he goes quiet for a second. After this, he's going to do dun 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 dun, and then the potion is gonna kick in. That's when you need to be over the platform when he does the second dun dun, because that's right when he kicks in. So I'm gonna do that again. Kalimpa. So, quiet second, and then it's gonna be bum bum bum. And then right on the second one, I got healed. I almost went too far. And as you can see, the potion kicked in. I now survived this, and I'm now at the top platform. After that point, I'm now going to enter the same room. Yeah, I'm not sure if you could hear it on the camera, on the mic, but basically that's how it works, the jingle. Right here, you want to be super monk-ass. Be careful, chat, okay? Be very careful. Okay. So, right here is the entrance. And here is a cutscene for the delivery bag. You don't want that. You don't want the cutscene. Be careful. So, you have to do something very monk-esque. Really? I can't really show it off now. Anyways, if you roll up towards a ledge and you're holding any direction on the analog stick, you will get a jump out of it. But if you roll... wait, you're right. I can just use my cheat code. Alright, we're back. Thanks. So if I hold any direction on the analog stick, even if it's like backwards sometimes, if I hold any direction here, as you can see, he gets the jump, even though I was holding down. But if I don't hold anything on the analog stick, even if I have full speed, oops, he's gonna grab the ledge, which is very important. So what you want to do here is you want to make sure you don't get a jump. If you get a jump, you're gonna hit the cutscene trigger and you're gonna lose like 2-3 minutes. So roll, release analog stick, target, let go, and hold forward. That's gonna give you an instant roll when you land, and you can then roll into this loading zone. Now right here, oh no, I forgot the water. Haha, just kidding. So right here, you want to drop water on these bomb flowers. Now the most optimal method, if you see in a record attempt, is that you're supposed to basically go and get the water from outside Dragon Roost. Now let's say, worst case, you forgot to get the water. Well, what you can do is you can simply go down here and you can pick up this water. Either of these waters work. However, this water is slightly slower. I wanted to show off the backup though. So that is the backup if you forget to pick up the water on the outside with your bottle. But you want to try and remember to always pick it up at the right positioning. Unless. And then you just want to throw this bomb flower. Oh, also, for throwing this bomb flower. Right here, it likes to bounce a lot. So if I throw it right at the front, for example, it's probably going to look like this. How you want to do this is you want to make sure that you throw the bomb to land on the part that is angled upwards, because that's going to slow down the bounce. So I like to throw the bomb right about here when you're a bit away from the corner. So pick up the bomb flower here. That's going to make it bounce on the bottom, kill its speed, and then stay on the top. And that is going to explode it. Oh no, I missed. Chad, what if we kissed while watching Linkus 7 stream? Haha, just kidding. Unless. Alright. Right here, for these right here, for the first one right here, you want to pick it up with a straight angle. You want to take like 2 steps and then throw it. Slightly more. For this one right here, what I like to do is I like to pick this up and I would like to go right and then line it up here. If I have the camera in about this way, if I pick this up and I go right and I look at this part right here, I want to basically throw the bomb with an angle like this. That's going to make the bomb hit the pillar and knock it into the pod. That's how I do it, like, fairly consistently. So I like to kind of go like this, throw it, and miss, because obviously I am going to on the tutorial, because, you know, great example. But yeah, you want to do it like that. As you can see, it hit the pillar, knocked down in the pod, just like that. That's how it's supposed to go, and then you go up. Also here, you don't want to roll. You can't roll without bonking on these right here. You almost always bonk here. So what I like to do is I like to go here, make one roll to the right, walk up over this last ledge here, and then I would like to roll up in the top left. You can skip the second one, but it only saves 2-3 seconds and it loses over half a minute if you fail it. So I personally don't even go for it. Not worth it. For these right here, it's pretty simple. Just push this. Only push this once because you only need to have it opened. Roll through here. Now immediately when you get into this room, you want to go in the top left corner. Now right now on the Game Boy, Tingle just gave me a text box. Now I do not want that text box, and that text box is basically a hint indicating that there is something there's basically something that indicates that there's a secret in it, because there's secrets with the Tingle Tuner. So right now, I equipped my Tingle Bomb back. The reasoning why, I will show you right now, actually. If I explode my Tingle Bomb on this crack right here on this floor, where the steam comes up, what is going to happen is it's going to discover a hidden secret, 50 rupee from Tingle. That is essential to make the rupee route work. So you need to make sure that you actually explode a Tingle Bomb on that patch so that you get that secret hidden 50 rupee. Otherwise, your rupee route is not going to work. After that, I like to pick up this stick with the fire, take this up, throw the second one, and also I kind of sped that end part up because I need to be a bit careful because, well, if you get hit one too many times and you die here, you will respawn back at Windfall Island, which is slow. Don't do that. Right here, there's 2 options. There's a tiny cutscene when you enter this room. This storage saves like 3 seconds. If you want to, you can go for a tiny time save where you climb up here and get a storage. And if you get the storage first try, then you can skip this tiny cutscene. But you have to get it first try to save any time. Now, right here, I want to do a zombie hover in the main room. Now, for this one, I actually don't recommend you to do what I do. Right here, I actually turn around and do a zombie hover right here. Problem is, number 1, it's hard to make you land close to the edge. Also, I need to make it up to above this ledge in time, which is a very small distance. Which means if you don't have perfect mashing close to frame perfect the entire time, you're not going to make it up on the ledge in time, and your run is dead. Also, there's a chance you can instantly land on that ledge, which is going to kill it even harder. I recommend you to actually go to the left personally, and go right here. At this point right here, simply just tap the D-pad so you have the bomb placed out again, and explode a Tingle Bomb so you're facing the wall. And then do a zombie hover. Now, I'm actually, at this point during a zombie hover, you want to equip your red ting again. Oh boy, low power. However, you don't want to activate the red ting yet. So equip the red ting right after you launch the zombie hover, and then just wait. Now pay attention to the bottom left corner of the map where the map is. If you pay close attention to the map, you're gonna notice something soon. Did you guys notice that it just changed map right here? That's why you want to wait. If I activated the red potion before that change, it's going to cancel it by the Tingle Tuner because it needs to take time to upload that information of the new map I just entered into the game. So after you did the map transition, you don't want to use the red potion and then zombie hover up. And you're now up, and you can enter this room. At this point, you can also turn off the Game Boy Advance, because you do not need a Tingle Tuner anymore. Right here, it's pretty straightforward what you want to do. 3 hits, quick spin, break this pod, go here, break the second pod by bonking. 1, 2, 3, quick spin, jump slash, jump up here because it's a faster animation than climbing. Climb up, as you're climbing, change the camera to the right, release the analog stick for a split second, otherwise you're going to have inverted controls from the ladder. Pick this up, immediately go forward, hope that he doesn't troll it by knocking you down into the lava. When he does that attack, you want to walk right of him, or left, whatever fits you better. Then you want to throw the pod, jump on the platform, head up. Then you want to side hop off, you want to pick up this bomb flower right here, throw it, and then try and time it as it's about to explode to side hop. And that allows you to stand in front of the door during the cutscene, which allows you to open it much quicker. Thank you, Koopa, for the Twitch Prime. 8 months resub, my friend, by the way. Really appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. Right here, you see the difference in color on these staircases? Do you see how these are darker than the ones at the top? Do you see that? These ones have a chance of bonking you, these parts of the staircase. However, as long as you don't roll against the wall, the falling ones that are brighter, as long as you're not rolling against the wall, you will never bonk. So, go up and just roll here. No, I've not done my nails. For these ones right here, it's 5 hits. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't know if I got the first one in. Quick spin. Right here, you can attempt a quick storage on this 4th staircase right here. You have 1 try on it after killing them until the moblin spawns. It only works on this 4th staircase. If you get it, you have control over Link during the cutscene, which means you can hit this moblin while he dropped, which is why he's angled in a weird manner. And that allows you to kill him a little bit faster, saving a few times. After you do that as well, you can technically do a second storage right here, and this depends on how comfortable you are with the storage. If you go up and talk to Medley straight away, that's the best method. You can, however, save around 7-8 seconds if you get a first try storage right here. So like I said, you want to do this on the 4th staircase. 3rd does not work, because 3rd one you hop up on, and a wall is not close enough on these, so you won't get a Wind Waker dive. So it has to be on the 4th staircase. If you do, however, go for the storage method, you then want to talk to him, press the Wind Waker out to get the text out. You can then go through the text while you're playing the game, and then when the text box ends, you skip a long, slow text with Medley, and she immediately gives you get the grappling hook. Oh, did I say him? Sorry, her. You don't want to save and quit the game. And you then want to go back over to this section of the game. Now, for this next part, I actually need to use a legitimate copy of the game. I can't continue being a dirty cheater and using the practice ROM. So I'm going to make a quick cut, and I'm going to switch over to actually having the normal version of the game. So you won't be able to see my speed in the top left corner anymore. but that is necessary for the glitch coming up. Alright, so we're back. We got the original version of the game now. No more Cheetahs 7, so we can keep going. Alright, so at this point right now, what I want to do is I want to head over here and I want to get another storage. Now, for this part, I want to make sure that I get something known as double storage. Now, I'm going to give you guys a Galaxy Brain amazing method. So this is what you want to do. You want to get storage. Now, after you get storage, you want to do something known as double storage. What that means is, if I try and do storage right now, it won't work, because I will have control over the link when I take out the Wind Waker, right? So I can't do storage like this. So what I want to do is, after you get storage, you want to store a text box. Now, when you have a text box stored, and I take out the Wind Waker in my hand again, when I climb up, I have one try to do storage right here. And if I get storage, then that means that the B press right now will mean that I have storage now and the text is up. If I finish the text box right now, I'm screwed. However, if I take out the Wind Waker, then finish the text box, I then officially got storage in my storage. Which means if I press Wind Waker now, you can see that store that. That's what's known as double storage. Now, there is a much better method you can do that doesn't only allow you one try or you need to regain this text box. And that is by storing this guy. If you store his text box, and then you make sure that your camera is faced away from the character, if he is unloaded in the game, his text box cannot progress because he needs to be loaded into memory, which means that you can try it. And as you can see, do you see on the bottom right now how I can't even progress this text box? But if I load him, I can. That means that you can keep trying while the text box is up on the screen. And then when you finally get it, you can then enter the water. And when you're spinning around, you're definitely eventually gonna load him. And you can finish the text box. And I now officially have double storage. Now this one is such a long super swim, I need to make sure that I actually get a decent amount of area fills on these docks. If not, like I get unlucky like now, I'm going to have to try and back this up. Okay, I got it. Okay, so now I want to swim very much down with a slight angle to the left. That is going to put me towards Forest Haven. Now, the reasoning I needed double storage is because when you head to Forest Haven, there's a cutscene that's supposed to play of showing you the island around. However, this cutscene actually wants control over the camera. So if I don't have double storage, then I will soft lock. But now I'm going to go here. It's going to load the cutscene. It's going to store the cutscene right there. You can see King of Red Lions has popped up here. I can then super swim by looking away from the island. I just release the analog stick this time because it's so short. Go up, and then here I kill the speed by pressing target and up. Go up on the ledge, cancel storage, and then I can enter Beetle. On Beetle, you want to be very careful right here. So what I do is I don't want to mash the A and B button for normal text, because then it would just be like this. So you want to try and mash only the A button for parts that we know you're getting close. So I like to do it like this. Then press right, you want to buy the bait bag. Then for the bait bag, I mash A and B for this part. Then I switch over to only mashing A really quickly. Because this is instant text, so one press goes through the entire text box. You then want to go 2 to the right, and you want to buy the meatballs. I now have Swedish meatballs, aka the bait, and I have the bait bag. And here I just mash A and B, because I actually want to leave. Now, right here, I want to do a Wind Waker dive without canceling it, because I'm using it to get further underneath the island. Now, there's one very important thing that people miss, and that is beetles bopping in the ocean. Do you see how Beetle moves left and right here? This is going to make a difference for this Wind Waker dive. You want to stand here, and you want to line up that you're going to grab this part of the ledge. However, if Beetle's boat is going upwards, then it won't work. So you need to wait until Beetle starts going downwards. You can then jump, and you can grab here. You then want to climb up and take out the Wind Waker, and don't cancel it this time. Now, I like you to pay attention to the top where you can see the note going. It started at the center, it went right, and it's now going to be heading towards the left. So it's heading like that. And then when it hits the very left side of it, you then want to press the B button. Because I kept pausing the game, it actually changed how it looked like. And oh, but you can see how far down on the water I am, by the way. I'm going to do this one more time just so you can see easier, because it kind of got messed up because I was pausing the game. So pay attention to the notes and when I cancel it, okay? So take it out, left. When it hits all the way to the left, you press B and immediately swim under the forest haven. At this point then, you want to line it up so that you're going to swim directly towards this loading zone. I'm actually going to go further to the right here just to give you an example of what's happening. So if you swim and there's a water source above you, which this is technically swimmable water, when you're underneath the swimmable water, which is this one right here, you will actually be teleported up to this higher water place. And the loading zone is right here, which means I can just enter the water, enter the loading zone, and I'm now officially in Forest Haven, and I can now officially get on to the next glitch. Now, this is the reasoning why the speedrun is Japanese exclusive, and that is because they patched, or they fixed how you do this glitch on the other versions of the game. This is why you need a Japanese copy of the game. So, first you want to do something known as a roll clip. What a roll clip is if you do something when climbing up a ledge in the first frame, you have some weird behaviors. For example, if I climb up here and I do a backflip on the first frame, you see how that's a normal backflip, right? Well, if I backflip on the first frame, he's going to do something known as a low flip, which means that he's not going to gain the height from climbing up the ledge. There's something else as well known as a roll clip. So if I climb up right here, as you can see, did you see how Link's body was partially inside of the wall right here? And then it pushes me to the right when I climb up. That's what you want. You want to climb up, and when you want to line up the camera as well, and you want to climb up so Link is partially inside of the wall. Then you want to hold left and roll on the very first frame that you can. And as you can see, that was actually a roll clip. You can see how I just rolled and fell off. However, the angle was not good enough to clip inside of the wall, so I have to try that again. Bam, right there. You can see now that I roll in the first frame, and I'm now out of bounds. At this point, what I want to do is I want to take out my sword, I want to line this up, and I want to walk so that I'm about this part of the wall. I usually look at this big wine right here, and then I like to use back walk. Now at this point, you want to equip the grappling hook, and you want to equip the meatballs. So you want to back walk off, and then when you back walk off, you want to turn around and throw the meatballs out of bounds. After I've done this, you now want to head over to this part, and you want to stand underneath this floor right here. You want to be careful, because if you go too far forward, you will get a jump out of it and get up. Now, this might actually mess up my memory corruption, because I'm doing a memory corruption glitch. But hopefully this will still work, even though I did some extra stuff. But basically, go underneath of here, crouch by holding in the R button, stand up, and then count to 10 out loud. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And every time I do this, I press the grappling hook button. And if you crouch, you had water droplets coming down from you, there's not enough memory to take out the grappling hook, so you're actually just doing an invisible pull. You want to do this 20 more times now, so you're going from 10 to 30. So crouch, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Then you want to crouch again and do it 20 more times. 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 42. If that happens, it meant that you had enough memory. All you have to do then is you have to crouch and do this again. So, and you want to count that one when it didn't work, by the way. So 43, 34, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. And then you want to do 50 to 70. The total amount you want to do is 70. So let's do it. 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 67, 68, 69, 70. That was very difficult to do in English. I usually do that in Swedish. After you're done this, you can now walk back into bounds, and you then want to roll and jump up and get up on this part right here. After that, you then want to walk up here, and you want to activate this cutscene. Now, there's a chance that this could not work in this tutorial because I just lost a lot more memory. Basically, anything you do at this point in the ocean is going to load and corrupt memory. I'm not going to go into exactly why it works because I already have a full commentary version of my last record. If you want to check that out, I'll put an annotation in the top right. But how you do this? If you spend too much time in the water, you saw how I had water droplets, and water droplets were making a bunch of water marks on the ground. That's extra memory, so you don't want to add any additional stuff. So because of that, right now I might have messed up too much memory. So when you go and you drop the meatballs, immediately go and do the 70 grappling hooks. You don't want to do what I did. Also, if you spend too much time here and you get this, because you want to go in and do a storage now after activated it. If you spend too much time so this text box comes up, you want to just store it because you need to actually, you want to not have this, it's fast. So if you're still here when this text box comes up, then you want to just store it. So I'm going to press A to store this text box. Then I'm going to get 1 storage. And I'm going to bonk the tree. This is going to make it so the chews are going to get bonked off the tree and they're going to slide forward in a random direction. As you can see. After that, I'm then going to get storage again, because I need storage active for Decatur Cutscene Skip. I now have a second storage. I'm now going to push them out of bounds. Now, these guys are stuck in their animation of sliding forward, but if I push them out of bounds, then they will go so far out of bounds that they're going to despawn. So that is the goal, is to push them out of bounds so that they will actually despawn. This guy in the corner right here can be a bit tricky. You want to crawl from the right to push him out. Here, you want to also go. If one of the chews gets stuck in this corner, you want to go here and you want to crawl as well. For this guy, I'm probably just going to roll into him on the side and hope that that pushes him out of bounds. There we go. And then you want to go here. Now here, I want to set it up so that all chews are out of bounds by 1. If I get really unlucky right here, both of them can get pushed out. I'm going to try my best to, there we go, to do that. After this point, you got to be really quick. I can't take this too slowly, so I'm going to go over exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to set this up. I'm going to double target the wall. If you double press the target button, if you're close to a wall, you will target the camera so you have a straight angle. I will then walk until this texture right here. If you look closely, do you see how there's a really bright texture here, and then there's a slight shift in the texture right here? This is where you want to stand when there's a shift in texture, because there's a darker part left of me, there's a slightly brighter part above me, and then there's a really bright part right of me. You want to go right here. You then want to side hop, and when I want to side hop, this chew is going to get clipped out of bounds. And I want to do it based upon the Decatree's moving mouth animation. I want to look at him, and I do it right now. Right now. Right now. You want to do it when his head is moving towards the left, and his mouth is fully open, so now. Now. You get the idea. After I do that and I see that the chew got pushed out, I need to count these head bops. That's what I'm going to be counting after I push them out of bounds. I need to be counting. So for example, 1, 2, 3. And while I'm counting, I need to maneuver up here. I need to make sure I walk on the left side here. And then I gotta walk far up so I can get a jump. At this point, you want to be careful not to fall down. And you want to very carefully go towards as close to the edge as possible. When I get here, I'm going to see up the camera. The cue I use is I aim right of this left tree right here, about here. So that is all you need to know for now. So now let's actually do the first part of the setup. Now there's a chance this could not work because based upon the chew's angle, you can actually get unlucky and this trick doesn't always work, and you can also get bad RNG. So hopefully this does work, but I'm going to go over at least how to do it. So now, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. On the 6th one, when he moves downwards, you want to pause buffer the game and look at the tree in the background and the Decatree's head. So keep pause buffering right here. Keep looking. And as you can see now, I can see a pixel of the tree. Then I see a bit more. Then I want one more frame now. So I see a decent amount of the tree right now. Then you want to hold target and up. And then I'm going to be pausing the game again. I'm now going to be walking forward. And then when I get close to the ledge, I'm going to stop walking by releasing the analog stick. It's going to stop me right in place. And then I'm going to do nothing and unpause the game and hope that I get crushed. What ends up happening is if you spawn into the room and you're standing up, it meant that I got the cutscene skip right here. So this is successful right now. If you trigger the cutscene, it meant that you side hopped too early because you didn't get crushed in time. If you come in here and you're coming from a standing up getting hurt animation, it meant you side up too late, so you got crushed, but the cutscene never triggered. However, if the cutscene triggered while you were voiding out, then you're going to be standing up like this. And you're now good. At this point, you can just walk up here. You can get up here. And as you can see, the bulb is going to be here. You have now officially watched the cutscene. And you can now move upwards. Imagine getting crushed. Imagine having a crush. Like this blush. Alright. Right here I walk. I have this angle right here. And I walk until I get to this part of the flower. Then I aim left and up. And I just grapple. And that's going to give me a perfect angle towards the left. So I can just perfectly land in it. Then I'm going to go up. I'm going to go up. Now, bulb skip time. This trick, I don't recommend it, but I'm going to teach it to you because everyone should do this. No, you really shouldn't, but I'm going to do it anyways. So, you see this platform right here? You can actually skip going in this last bulb if you do a trick known as bulb skip. Now, based upon the cycle, you can see, if you look at it carefully, the platform, do you see how it's swinging back and forth? Depending on where in the cycle you are, depending on how hard this is. Now, how do I line this up? Well, what I do is the center of the screen, so basically right where Link is hopping up. I aim, you see the little target thing and the giant, like, handle in the end of the tree right there, like right in front of Link, behind Link right now, right in front of me. I aim so that I am slightly right of that target. At that point, I just hold up and pray. And if you did it correctly, you land and you're good. I then side hop into this because if you don't side hop into it, then he's going to do this. This animation loses like a second or two, which free time save side hop into it. If you pick it up in midair, you skip that cutscene, and it's, you know, free time save. After that, I'm going to jump down. I try and jump down towards the loading zone and then slash my sword right before I land to not take falling damage. Right here, quick advice on the menuing for quick menuing. If you hover over an item, I want this item on the X button personally. But I already have the grappling hook, and I want the grappling hook equipped as well. So what I'm going to do instead of pressing it on the X button, because then I would have to move over here and press this on Z, is you want to press this on the Z button, then this on the X button. That is going to allow you to do a faster menuing for that trick. So that means that you basically want to do it like this. After that, you can then just leave. Right here, you want to do this. Yeah, sorry, Martina. After that, you want to go left. You want to go down in the water right here. You want to go down the second waterfall, and then you want to take out your DQ leaf. Leaf to the right, get to Beetle, and you then want to enter Beetle, and you want to leave Beetle's boat. Now, at this point, Monka S in the chat. If you load a single island that you're not supposed to, your run is 99% guaranteed dead. You have to follow every single instruction I tell you, because if you go one coordinate off, if you don't load one single thing, your run is done for. You done goofed. You've done goofed. This is really bad because now the boat is moving and my storage spot is kind of messed up. This is actually Monkass. I'm gonna let him take a ride with me here. Alright, I don't know if this is going to work with Beetle's barrel positioning, but what you want to do in the run is you want to climb up right here, take out the Wind Waker, which is going to give you a Wind Waker dive, and you can then land on the barrel. If you are a dummy like me and you make Beetle move so he's not in place, there is a backup storage you can do. If you jump up and grab right here on the ceiling, you can climb up, take out the Wind Waker, and cancel it 3 frames before you land. That's a quick backup you can attempt. I'm going to reload this area now again. There's a good chance that this run is unfortunately going to mess up with memory corruption. I might have to do a take. But I want to do the proper route for the twirl. So yeah, so walk off here, climb up, then cancel the Wind Waker 3 frames before you land. This one is a bit more tricky because the barrel is moving. Here, I'm going to go over what I recommend you to do for this route. This is what I recommend you to do. Take out the Wind Waker, jump into the water, and start super swimming. Now, pay close attention to my air meter, okay? Pay close attention to the air meter. Look at it, and you're gonna see a white bubble, and I'm about to go underneath it. Right when I go underneath it, like now, you wanna pause the game, look towards Forest Haven, and then press target and hold down ESS. Then you want to hit the corner of Bombile, because you're angled slightly to the left. When you see Bombile load, right now you saw the watchtower load, I switch to down left ESS, and I swim towards Cabana. Then I see Cabana, and I'm pretty close to it. And I'm going to hold up, and I want to progress 1 frame to do a 180-degree turn. And I want to make sure that I see that behind me, the textures actually load for Cabana. If not, then I need to go closer. Okay, as you can see, the texture loaded, and we're good. Target, down left ESS, super swim towards Forest Haven. Here, I'm going to pause buffer to make sure that it loads in time without me splooshing. At this point, you want to hold target and down right ESS. Release target and then, sorry, don't hold target and hold down right ESS. That means you're gonna turn to the left. Buffer it, and then when you're angled up towards Bombile, target. And then go up to the submarine or the island, whatever you prefer, just so you can get up and get an air refill. Because you do need more air for this. Otherwise, you are screwed. Oh, I actually got a lucky air refill. Nice. Okay. And then get a lot of speed. Also, Monka-esque moment again. You see that watchtower in the distance over there behind me right now? That watchtower? If you go too close to it, then that watchtower is going to shoot a bomb at you. And if you have memory corruption and the game loads a bomb into memory, it's going to go and it's going to crash. Do not go close to that watchtower. If you go close to that watchtower, your run is going to crash and your run is dead. Do not do it. I know it's tempting to do the optimal angle, but don't do it. Go towards the left. Also, you don't want to see Forest Haven since you want to swim away from it. So when I don't see it, target, down, buffer so that the island loads. When it's loaded, up, do 1 frame. If you fail it, then just keep pause buffering until you see that you're looking at Forest Haven since I want to swim away from it. So right now, target, down ESS, load Bombile again. After Bombile, switch to down left ESS, release target so you do a full turn, load Bird's Peak right here, then release target, switch to down right ESS, target when you have a straight angle towards Thorn Ferry, and you're then going to swim up on the island, and you're now at the island you want to be at. Now, if you did memory corruption all correct, there should not be any wines loaded here, and the invisible wall should be gone, and you can enter the fountain, and I can now get the quiver upgrade you're successfully supposed to do. Vine, wine, vine, wine, vine, vine. Oof. It's hard to be Swedish, okay, Chad? It's hard. Alright. After I'm done here, I'm just gonna roll out and I'm gonna leave this island, and I now want to do a death warp. Right here, I want to get out of this island right here. So I want to do what you want to do is target, side hop, and when you start losing height, do a jump slash. If you fail to clip out like that, just literally walk into the top left corner and jump slash like a maniac. And eventually, it's just going to kill you as well. It doesn't matter if you get killed by these things here or the electricity guy. It's just that it's slightly faster to get out because the electricity guy deals half a heart. You basically just want to get down to 0 HP. Now when you've gotten down to 0 HP, you want to go right so you don't save the game, and then continue. Do not press quit. After this point, I need to do a double storage. Now, I hope I have enough memory for everything, since I did load Beetle an additional time, so my memory could be messed up. But if you did everything right, there should be enough memory to load the mailbox text box. So what you should be able to do is get storage here, and now you unfortunately have to do the one try double storage. Because you need to get double storage for this right here. If you don't get a text box out of this when you take out the Wind Waker, it meant you didn't have enough memory for a text box. Here, same thing. Get in the water, finish the text box, and then get a bunch of speed. Now, we are once again going to go full Monka-ass mode because we need to do exactly the super swims I say. Anything out of order, and your run is 99% likely dead due to memory corruption. So, I'm going to swim upwards this time. So you want to swim straight up. You're going to go to Wind Temple right here. When this island loads, you want to go towards the left. This is going to be Crescent Moon. Now, I'm going to be very careful. I'm going to go on the right side right here so that I line it up straight like this. And then the second I go up on the island, I'm going to press target and roll. Now, first of all, your controls are going to be inverted based upon how you entered. That's why I want to go from a right angle, because it happens to be that a straight right angle makes it simple that up is almost up. As you can see, it's almost straight up. Another thing is this. I need to store this chest. However, if I accidentally touch this blue chew at any point, the game is going to store the animation of getting hit by a blue chew, and your run is dead. So you cannot hit the blue chews. So carefully walk up towards the chest. Then carefully turn around with your inverted controls and open a chest. After that point, take out your sword, target that blue chew that's left of you, and start jump slashing like a maniac. After you get away from it enough, keep jump slashing and get down in the water. When you get down in the water, you will see nothing but Link's eyes because you store that chest, but you will be able to see the electricity of the chews. You will charge for about 2 to 3 seconds. Then when you see the chew electricity, hold target and down ESS and swim for a split second. Then stop, hold up again, release target, and keep super swimming to get more speed. That's only because if you're too close to the island, you're going to hit it and you're going to be losing your speed continuously. When you reach about so you have half of your air meter left, you want to aim so you can see that the chews are behind you. When they are, you are at the correct spot. You want to target, down ESS, and swim in the darkness. When the island unloads, if you did this setup correctly with the blue chews electricity, you're going to get right to the left, and you're going to now see Wind Temple. You're then going to turn to the left. Left is going to be straight down on the map, which is going to be Windfall. I like to do an additional safety pause here just to give it an extra bit of time to load. This part of Windfall, this entire wall, gives you a full area fill, which means that when I'm here, if I hold up, I can spin around, and anytime I touch this wall, because I clip partially inside of it, I will get an area fill. You now want to get a lot of speed. If you want to be safe, you can get a ton of speed. Like right now, I'm getting more than I would normally do in a run. When you feel like you're done, be sure you get full air, then turn around from the island, and then just ESS down. You now want to load Wind Temple again, then turn left, and you want to load this fair island. Load it, then you want to keep going left, and you want to load this island before Forsaken Fortress. You can see the watchtower just loaded, which meant it worked. You would keep going, and you want to get towards Forsaken Fortress. Then here, you want to load Forsaken Fortress 3 times. So, right now I'm in Forsaken Fortress coordinate. I'm going to hold up, and I'm going to try and do a 1 frame pause, so I do a 180 turnaround. As you can see, the lights turned on, which meant it's loaded. So that's 1. Swim away by holding target and down ESS for a second. Then do the same thing again. That is, as you saw, the watchtower popped up, which means that got loaded. Do this, swim down again, pause, up for 1 frame. That's 2. So target, down ESS, swim for a second. Frame perfect turnaround again. If I can time it. Swim towards Forsaken Fortress. Lights loaded 3 times. Swim away from it again. Do a turnaround. Now it's fully loaded. Now, Monk-ass moment again. Forsaken Fortress has a ton of cannons with a ton of bombs. If any of them spot you at all, they're going to shoot a bomb. Your game is going to go, and you're dead. The game crashed, run over, bad time. So you need to make sure that you swim in a very, very specific way to not get the crash. So this is what I like to do. I like to go left right here so that I see this tiny rock here on the left side. Go for this left rock. When you get up towards this left rock, you want to start turning towards the right. Turn a bit towards the right. when you see this about boat, go forward. Then you will see a giant rock on the right side. At this point, hold left, which is going to turn you right. So you turn into this corner. Then you're going to see on the map right now that... Right now you can see that I'm right at the corner and I'm not where the bombs can be. I swim into the corner and bam. I hit the corner I needed to. I actually clipped through a bit early, but here's where you want to go. This part right here allows you to stand on it. And this is where you want to go because you want to cancel storage. If you want a reference, you can look at the map. You see where I am on the map? This is the corner you need to get to without ever activating a cannon. If you have a hard time to get in this corner, there's one backup to do here. If you get stuck on this wall, cancel your speed. Because of chest storage, if you walk up to the right here, you will pop up and you can cancel it here. And then you simply make it here. When you get to this corner right here, you want to be pretty far down in the water like this and then just roll into the wall. You're going to clip through and then you can swim through right here and get through this wall. At this point, you want to aim for this corner right here and mash the A button. You will clip through and you're going to roll up. Then you want to walk up this ledge right here to the left of you. Go up of it, and you're going to now walk up the wall, and you're now at this section. Now, if you for some reasoning wasted magic, don't by the way, you can technically save your magic. If you carefully walk to the right here, you can jump in on this section right here, which allows you to skip the magic. However, what I normally in a speedrun you would do is you would walk up here, because when you go high enough on Forsaken Fortress, the collision isn't there. So you jump through the wall, take out the leaf, and leaf into the loading zone. Now, there's multiple scenarios in this room that can happen based upon how much memory corruption you did. Let me go over a couple of the things that's very important to know, and this is going to be very crucial. So, here is the conditions. First of all, there's supposed to be a cutscene right here. The cutscene does not play because I had too much memory corruption. The game did not have enough memory to load. Now, here's the different situations from most amount of memory to least amount of memory. In this room, water is here. Water is here, by the way, because there's supposed to be two pirates, your sister Ariel in the jail cell, during the cutscene, and the water. So, if the two pirates in the center of the room, there's water, and there's a giant flapping bird, aka Helmrock, right here in the middle of the room, your run is dead. Basically, if Helmrock had memory to load, if you go into an animation such as taking out the Wind Waker or you do anything, then run dead. Absolutely run dead. Second option, the thing you want to get, is that there's water here and there's Tetra and the second pirate in the middle of the room. That's the best option. Option number 2 is that there is no water, there's two pirates and your sister in the jail cell. This should also work for memory corruption. Third thing that can work but doesn't always work is this right here. Water and one pirate. This can work, but it's not guaranteed to work, and there's a chance I can soft lock. Worst option, no water and one pirate. 90% of the time, you're gonna soft lock your game. If there is no water and no pirate, your run is absolutely dead. You have a 0% chance of surviving your run. It's GG. Call the reset. RIP. Because I entered Beetle an additional time, I did load more stuff into memory, so I have more memory corruption than I should. So there's a chance that this could soft lock, but I don't know yet, because this situation is a 50-50 when there's one pirate and water. Because that means that I still have a good amount of memory, so I either have just enough or just not enough. This is about basically the brink of just having enough or not enough. If you also wonder why there's not any music here, that's because of the fact that I'm supposed to watch a cutscene here, but there's no cutscene memory, like there's no memory for the cutscene to load. Here's also another part where if you forget it, your run is dead. If you open up the door in the top of Helmrock's tower, you are actually going to soft lock your game. That's because, just like how the game did not have enough memory to load a cutscene, it will not have enough memory to load a loading zone. However, if you go up and you break at least one of these pots, you now actually cleared up memory because there's one less object in the room. Which means that now the game actually has enough memory to go through the loading zone. You can break one of those 3 pots right there. Also, you can break more than one if you want. It doesn't matter. there's also another set of 3 pots right here. So you can, I mean, this is an example. I'm going to break a second one. It should be fine. And then I'm going to jump up on this ledge. This ledge is really easy to get to, by the way, even though like the platforms are not here. As long as you have like a decent angle like this, just jump and you'll grab it. Then walk around the arena. As you can see, the spikes are not raised because I'm not, you know, I'm in the cutscene of it. And then you are going to go up here and then simply press the A button. You're going to open Ganondorf's door. The cutscene can load because you broke the pot, so it had enough memory. You're now good. You got through this cutscene. Right here also, this cutscene just equipped a tunic to Link. It gave me a hero shield, and it equipped a Master Sword. The Master Sword and the hero shield will be linked to my R button and my B button, and those items cannot be downgraded, which means I permanently just upgraded my Master Sword and my hero shield. The tunic will not, however, stay. So that's what you need to know for this section right here. Alright, so now the cutscenes are about to be over, and this is where I was talking about if your run is dead or not, depending on memory corruption. You might be wondering, why does what loaded in that Helmrock room matter at all if you get in the room? Well, if you enter this room right here, when you enter down here, there's a text box that needs to load of Tetra talking to Link. And if there is not enough memory in the game, this is gonna softlock you. Fortunately, the game did enough memory to load the text box, and we did not softlock. If you don't get a text box right here, and Link is infinitely staring at Tetra, that means that GG, you didn't have enough memory. It's unfortunately a reset. That's it. However, if it does load a text box, then you're good. Thank you, RTA Dan, by the way, for the 9-month resub. Hi, YouTube, from Colty and Dan. After you do that, you're going to roll into... Yeah, hi, YouTube. You're going to roll into Hyrule. And when you get into Hyrule, you're going to notice that something is going to be a little bit suspicious. And this is because of memory corruption. When you enter this room right here, as you can see, there is not going to be any enemies loaded whatsoever. And that is simply just because, well, I mean, there's no memory for them. Now, coming up here is Barrier Skip. This is where we always say bless RNG. Barrier Skip is unfortunately for a real-time attack, or, you know, like a speedrun that you do like this. Unfortunately, it's luck-based how fast it unloads. There's no way to guarantee it. So what you want to do is when you go out here on the outside, you want to roll up, and I roll up to this texture right here. Then I blow my leaf. If my leaf hits a wall, which you can see right there, it does like a boop that it pops out. That means that the barrier is loaded. If I go up, you can see it's clearly loaded. That's because that animation means that it hits an invisible wall. If it does that, then all you can do is enter the loading zone, then leave again to go on the outside, try that again, and you want to keep doing that until the barrier is not there. The reason you use the leaf is because it's slightly faster to blow the leaf than to walk all the way up to the barrier every time. So wow, that's really good luck. Right there, it didn't hit anything, which means second try was it, and barrier is now unloaded, and we are good to go. Damn, that is actually very good luck. Yeah, this is going to be uploaded to YouTube. What record pays, Pog? Why not use the bow? I don't have the bow. Alright, here, be careful so you leaf over these gaps. Don't be a dummy and jump down. That would be very bad. Alright. Coming up right here, this is actually the newest trick that was implemented in the run. So, if you enter the trials right here, first of all, you're going to notice that because of memory corruption, 2 of the bridges are not loaded, and sometimes which enemies are loaded throughout the room is actually different. So, yeah, just ignore how many enemies are loaded right here. So, if you enter this, if you go to the right bridge right here, then what you can do is you can simply open up this door and enter the Earth Temple trial. Now here's where the new glitch comes into play. If you look at my menu, you see I do not have the bombs right here. On the left side, the second last chest on the left has a guaranteed bomb drop. If you pick this up, then you will actually get a bomb icon into your inventory. And I now have the bombs. I do not have a bomb bag, so I can't actually use bombs. But there's another glitch that's going to come into play later that is going to take advantage of having the bomb icon in the inventory. So remember that we actually did get the bombs right here. After that, go on the left because you don't want to be screamed at. If you're fast enough, he won't be screaming at you. And go left here and leave. Yo, thank you, Cal, for the 24-month resub. Really appreciate that. If this guy is here, by the way, quick spin him down so he's not in the way. Also, you want to have a lot of magic for this trick. The magic drops are at every other part. So it's one here. There's one here. There's one here. And there's one here. These guarantee hearts. So you can ignore those. Trial skip is incredibly difficult. So be careful with this trick. I'll do my best to explain it. But basically, number one, you need to know what leaf pumping is. What leaf pumping is if you take out your leaf, you can press the leaf button and you can basically do this blow effect right here. However, what you can do is you can press the A button to cancel your leaf and then press the leaf button again right after. If you do it too early, it's not going to work. But if you time it like perfectly like this, you're going to see that it's raining magic really fast. And you can also see that I just made it over this. Like, if I give you an example, if I try and fly right here, you can see that I'm not even close to making it, right? But earlier when I did it, you can see that I easily made it. That's because leaf pumping actually gives you a small amount of height every time you take it out. So basically how the trick works is that you are pressing the A button to take out your leaf, or to take away your leaf, and then you press the leaf button a split second later to take it out again. So you basically take it out, take it in, take it out, take it in. By continuously doing that over and over and over again, you will basically be able to get more and more and more height. And that will allow you to get enough height to fly distances where you're not supposed to. When you figure that part out, you now want to do the next part. This, you have to combine a partial ledge clip with a roll clip combined with leaf pumping. This is one of the hardest tricks in the run. So this is what you're gonna do. Grab the ledge, go to the left, climb up. Target, C up. You see the Japanese font right now on my B button? You see the the letter most to the left. You want to line that up with this wall texture. Which wall texture specifically? Well, you see that there's a giant, really brown border right here, and then there's a red texture around the Earth Temple one. You want to line it up so that your B button is, your furthest letter to the left of your B button is above this part of the texture. You see how I can see part of the front side of this texture right now, of those red blocks? You want to line up the B button right here. After that, you want to press target. And now this is what you want to do. You want to do a perfect side hop. When Link's head gets to, you see the black texture that moves along the wall? When Link's head reaches about the middle of that black texture, you take out the leaf. You then want to hold straight forward. And you then want to press the A button to cancel your leaf right as you're about to get to the ledge. So you want to do it like this. And as you can see right now, do you see how Link is partially inside of the door? Or the wall, sorry. You see how Link is actually partially inside of the wall? This means that you can now attempt the main glitch. If you get a ledge grab like this, where you are actually partially in the wall, you can attempt the glitch. You have to do a frame perfect roll clip by climbing up. Then you need to hold left and press A on the very first frame that you climb up. However, after you do this, you need to take out the leaf one frame later. So you want to climb up, hold left, press A on the first frame, X on the second frame. If you are one frame early, he's not going to roll but blow the leaf. If you're one frame late, you are going to roll into the wall. So let's try and do that right now. Okay. Right now, I got it. I'm outside, and I now have the leaf out. I might have dropped too much height. Hopefully, I didn't. When you're out of bounds like this now, you need to be turning towards the left and do a ton of leaf pumps. And these have to be close to frame perfect, because as you can see, I'm at the same distance as the loading zone. So all of these almost have to be frame perfect. So you want to do like 5 leaf pumps, and they want to be about frame perfect. When you get under the loading zone, you want to mash the B button to do a jump slash. Now you're through, and you can head over to the next part. Right here is a few frame time saver. Instead of opening up the door, sidle this wall, hold left, you can hit the loading zone through the wall. You're good. You have saved yourself like 4 frames. You can now go for a record. This one also, by the way, guarantees a magic drop. On the other side, one guarantees you a magic drop. This one guarantees you arrows. It's going to be a rupee right now because I don't have a bow. But yeah, good to know if you want to do runs. Thank you, Kisco, by the way, for the $10 donation, my friend. I really appreciate that. I'm gonna play that. Song request after I'm done with the tutorial. But thank you so much. Right here, by the way, important time save. If you ever take out the leaf above a loading zone, the loading zone is automatically gonna be triggered. So instead of jumping and falling into the void, the second you get your jump, you press the leaf button here. That immediately triggers it, and you're now through. Now we are at Phantom Ganon's maze. Phantom Ganon you're supposed to kill, and it's sort of going to point in the right direction. However, it's always the same, so you can memorize it. So you want to turn around and go down. Then you want to go left. You would then want to go up. So down, left, up for the first one. After that, you want to then go left. You then want to go right. And you then want to go straight forward. So the total order is down, left, up, left, right, up. Right here, Phantom Ganon can do 3 different patterns. So you can do ground spawn, blue ball, and red ball. What you want to do when you enter this room is you immediately want to do 2 rolls to the forward. Because if you're against the wall, he cannot give you the ground spawn. And that is the fastest RNG. So immediately roll twice. And never turn around. Because if it's a ground spawn, it's always the one that spawns behind you that is the real one. If it does, then backflip and spin the analog stick in midair, and it's going to perform a quick spin. Then slash him once, and he's dead. If he does a blue ball, you run underneath him, and you run underneath him as close to him as possible, and you do a spin attack. If it's a red ball, you stand half of the room distance away, hold the B button for a spin attack, and then release it when the red balls come for you. After this, I'm now going to get the light arrows. Now, remember that I got a quiver upgrade earlier? This just gave me the item for the bow in the inventory, so now I know I have the bow with all the elements. Here, I want to do some fast equips due to my preference of equips. I want this on the Z button, but I want the grappling hook equipped, so I'm going to do a Y and a Z press like this. That is going to allow me to equip the bow and move the grappling hook without doing extra equips. After this, you want to save and quit the game. And this time you want a soft reset. The reasoning for that is because now the game is actually, you're going to see no signal from my capture card. The game is going to realize that memory is not correct, that I've been corrupting memory. So it's going to go, oh no, do a hard console reset instead of a soft reset. That is going to fix memory corruption, which is very important because you don't want to finish the run with it. And you're now going to spawn into the game. Immediately when you spawn in, do 2 rolls, take out it, switch to light arrows, target him, shoot one. Oh, I was a bit too late because I was explaining stuff, but that manipulates him perfectly to be against this top wall. Otherwise, he might be anywhere in the room and you're going to lose precious seconds having to walk extra. So do that exact movement to do that. And then you just want to knock the wall. Thank you, Kiska, for the gift sub to Tutorial Time Official. Yes, that is correct. Thank you for the gifted sub, though. Right here, I want to actually try and have fast movement because of a cycle. I might have standed a second too long to wait. But basically, go up and immediately shoot a light arrow. Keep rolling. Shoot a second one. Roll towards the left. Then, when you go to the left, make the first guy spot you. Shoot an arrow through him. That, if you lined it up perfectly, I was a little late on the cycle, but that can hit the second guy. If you also want to, you can take up this magic, but it's fine without it. You then want to head up here. You want to shoot this left guard right here from far away, because there's a delay every time you shoot a light arrow. You want to get this magic drop, because normally you would be short the magic if you didn't pick up the extras I did for the tutorial. And then you want to go in front of this door. Make sure that you have as much magic as possible. So, like, go for as much magic as you possibly could want here. And then enter this room, and you're now in Puppet Cannon. This cutscene is also going to provide you with a mirror shield and a fully upgraded Master Sword, which is very useful. Not for this run in particular, but in general in other speedruns. So that's something to note as well. Alright, so for Puppet Cannon, I unfortunately can't slow this down too much because I need to make the cycles work. So I'm going to say out loud what I try and do. I'm probably going to miss a lot of shots, but I'll do my best. I'm going to try and explain what I'm doing as I'm doing it. The first thing you need to know is the instant snipe. Okay, instant snipe. When you start the fight immediately, you can do an instant snipe. So what's going to end up happening is when Puppet Cannon spawns, his tail is always going to move the same way right when he spawns, before his RNG kicks in and he moves anywhere. Which means that he's going to go swing his tail to the left and then to the right. And when he does it to the left, it's before his movement system kicks in, so he's right in the center of the room and his tail will swing to the left. What you want to do is the very first second you spawn in, you want to tap up left, take out the bow, aim up for a perfect amount of time, and you also have to learn by just feeling if you're aiming too far left or right. Hold down, wait a few frames, then shoot the arrow, and if you do that perfectly, you can get an instant snipe before he moves. So let's see if I can pull it off, and if not, I should at least be close so you can get an idea of it. So this is how it should look like. So fight is going to kick in, so I'm going to turn a bit left, then bow, and then shot. Bam. After that, I'm going to wait and see how he's moving, and I'm going to try and shoot it based upon timing. Now, let's say that, oh no, you fail, you missed. There's actually a safe method for this if you don't want to learn how to do the snipes. If you stand far away from him, there is a safe part where you can shoot his tail. So, if you stand right here and wait, right now he's doing the animation. He's going to stop to try and actually throw his hands at you or shoot his arm at you. When he does that, the ball is going to go left, behind him, far to the left slowly, then behind him, and he's gonna shoot his arms. So right now, I would want to shoot it basically, right there. You can see the timing I would have done right there. So let me actually pay attention, let me do it on this next one, so you can get an idea of it. So, you wait, now. It's very easy to predict when to do the shot. And then obviously, if you're really risky, you can try and read at how he's moving, and you can try and snipe him. Now let's say that you missed too many. Now there's two things that can happen. One, you can get lucky and he can drop a magic ball by knocking the pots down. But let's say you weren't that lucky. When the keys do come, there's 5 keys that's going to come on the first one. Now you can see that I have 2 hearts. If you are at all 2 hearts or lower, he cannot drop magic. So you need to pick up the heart. Then you want to kill the other keys. And for this phase, even if I kill all of the keys or I wait forever, he is never going to stop spinning until you kill all 5 keys. So you have all the time in the world for this. Kill the 5th key. He's now going to be moving around, and then just snipe him. How did that miss? After 3 hits, he's going to basically get down, and he's now going to be on the first phase. Done. Second phase, there's one strat you can do. I cannot pause buffer this. This is known as Crip Shot. Crip Shot is angle and frame perfect. But this is what you kind of want to do. I'll try and do my best to explain it as I'm going. First of all, you want to do something known as the quick drop. He can move down quicker if you do a specific thing. Right when the fight starts right now, you want to target, you want to go up to this texture, then side hop and stand at a corner like this. That's going to make him always face this way. Then you want to move slightly below center, so you're angled in a like 10-15 degrees to the right. You then want to aim up right when you're about to be at the top of his ball. Shoot the first one, immediately change to looking up left by holding down left because it's inverted controls on SD on the aiming. Hold another arrow, and then you want to shoot it at a specific frame. Let me see if I can do it. like that. That would have hit if you did the timing correctly. Let me see if I can get it on the other one. Otherwise, it's fine. But that can allow you to basically do something on a script shot. If you don't get a magic drop right here, so right now, actually, I can't actually attempt it because it didn't get a magic drop. That is completely RNG. There's a 50% chance that the drops will drop a magic when you have this much hearts. So that's very unlucky. There we go. Now for the third phase, I personally... Oh, also, when you go down on the last one, you want to get knocked by him, because this deals 1 heart of damage. And then you want to shoot him, because you need damage for the last trick. On this last one, I'll recommend you to try and snipe his first shot. You can technically snipe him all of the times. I only recommend you to try and attempt the first one, unless you have half a magic meter or less, in which case don't. But you can basically try and snipe him like that. That's more just because he's super slow in this first phase and he likes to move away from you, and it can be kind of annoying to actually do it. But if he moves towards you, then yeah, obviously this is bad. Also for these, to actually knock him off, you can do a quick spin at his mouth, and it will basically stun him. You want to be careful though, because you can actually take too much damage right here and die. So don't do that. I almost just died. Okay. Whew. Alright. And now, Papageddon is down. And we're now on to our last trick. Monka S. Okay. So. Now. There are 3 glitches we need to combine into 1 trick to make this work. That's right, chat knows what's up. Monka S, dude. This is what we gotta do, chat. Okay. This is what we gotta do, YouTube. We need to do Morph glitch, Zombie hover, and a bomb Tingle Tuner glitch. Now, how do you do all these 3 things? Let's do one at a time, because otherwise it's gonna be Monka Extreme. Okay. First thing is the bomb glitch. First of all, there's a glitch you can do with the Tingle Tuner. So, if I take out the Tingle Tuner right now, as you can see in this room, you can't use the Tingle Tuner, right? You just get a text box and that's it. However, if I press the button for the Tingle Tuner on the same frame I paused my game, if you did it on the right frame, you can actually put another item over where the Tingle Tuner is. If you do this, then he will take it out like if it was the Tingle Tuner. Now, why is this useful? Well, as you can see, I have 0 bombs, and I can't get bomb drops because I don't have a bomb bag. However, if I have the Tingle Tuner out, I press Tingle Tuner on the same frame, I press start, and then I switch a bomb over it, it's not going to check for the bomb count, and it's going to take out the bomb, which means I can place it, slash it, and I can actually initiate a zombie hour from that. So let me do that one more time for you so you can see it. So take it out. And then in the actual trick, you would want to place it and slash it. But yeah, so that's all you want to do. That's all you gotta learn. At that point, now you know how to do the first trick, and that is the Tingle Tuner trick that allows you to pull out bombs with 0 bombs. Also, this is a pretty easy glitch, and you can do this in casual playthroughs. So if you ever are in a situation where you really need a bomb and you don't have any bombs, good trick to know. You can try it an infinite amount of times. It doesn't hurt. Too early, and you're just not going to take out anything. Too late of the pause, and you're going to take out the Tingle Tuner without pausing the game. Very simple, very easy to do. Right here, I'm going to backflip, because, oh, by the way, right here, you don't have to worry. If you backflip here, you will not fall down. It looks a bit monk-esque, but you should be fine. And then grapple this. Hey, Puff. I love you too, Puff. For fast movement right here, normally you would have the DQ leaf still equipped right here. So I would side hop, walk down, take out the leaf. If you don't have any magic, then just walk. I would break these 2 pots, because these 2 pots always have magic. However, be Monka-esque careful, because there's a few pots like this one that will always drop hearts, and you don't want that. Same with this one right here. So yeah, there's a lot of pots that will always drop you hearts, so be careful with them. But yeah, grapple to the last part. Now, onto our second glitch. You already know how to do the zombie hover glitch from earlier in the run. Now we're on to how to do morph glitch. So, how does a morph work? Well, let me show you. So, Wind Waker Morphs are programmed to work in a specific way in Wind Waker, but Ganon's Tower, there is an exception to the Morph rule. Because these Morphs drop down while Puppet Ganon is going around the arena, which means that if they would actually be able to be damaged by any source and drop hearts, that means that Puppet Ganon would be running into all the Morphs, and you would get all hearts. Too easy. So what Nintendo did is, if you slash a Morph with your sword, it will always drop a heart. However, if I kill it with an arrow shot, it will drop nothing. Now, what do I have to do? Well, you can do something known as Morph Glitch. So what this is you want to go up towards the front of a Morph and see up. And as you can see, you want to look at the bottom corner of the screen. And you want to see so that the Morph is basically on the bottom. Then you want to step a step forward. What I'm looking for is, I'm looking for a specific texture. So you see, if you look at the top left corner of his head, you see how there's one spike at the top, then there's an angled spike to the left, and then it goes all the way, and then there's just a spike to the left, basically. You want the camera on the bottom of the screen to cut off in between those two spikes, the one that's straight left and the one that's up left. So you just want to step, that's a bit too close. This should probably be fine. When you get here, you need to then hold target. You have to press B and up on the same frame. If that happens, you either A, we're standing too far away, or B, you didn't press up early enough. Now, if this happens, you can open up this warp pod and either just enter it and leave it, or if you want to save a second, you open it up and then you fly down and enter it from here for slightly faster animations. So yeah, so now, like I said, I'm just going to line it up, and then I'm going to slash the Morph as I press forward on the analog stick. So let me do that right now. Also, be careful for that pod. That pod always has a fairy drop, so never slash that by accident, or you're going to get all your hearts back. Okay, so right now I got the glitch. You could hear that the sound effect of hitting a Morph played, but the Morph still lives. That's because what ended up happening is the Morph hit me on the same frame that the Morph got hit on the same frame he grabbed onto me. Now, this part is luck, but it's partially not. Let me explain. If you roll on this GameCube version of the game with low amounts of speed, the Morph will go in every direction. However, there's a high chance that if you have low speed, the Morph can do a Morph roll glitch, which means that he will go straight forward. And he's not supposed to do that. He's always supposed to roll away from you. So you want to walk before you roll here downwards, and you want to do it in this direction because you want to guarantee that you don't get that glitch. Now, unfortunately, he can still go sometimes forward, right, forward, left. He can also go right, left, back, right, and back. You want him to go either back left or fully back. Basically, you want to have enough time to where you can blow your leaf onto him before he slides off the platform, because when you roll, he's going to go a random direction and just slide that direction. So let me try and do that right now and hope I get good RNG. Beautiful. So right there, as you can see, he went back. I was able to blow him. After that point, you want to blow him. Now, this Morph, you want to try and basically leave him up on this platform. Now, the Morph can go all different ways, and he can sometimes not go high enough. Sometimes he goes too low. Sometimes he goes backwards. The Morphs are in general horrible to deal with. Just blow on him until he goes up. After he's up on the platform, you then want to step right here, and you want him to go towards this platform. Now, as you can see, if I step here, he doesn't move. But if you go above a certain amount of speed, he will hop. And you want to do that. However, he can hop both to the left and to the right. If he hops to the left and he gets in the corner, just get him out and keep trying this. And you want to keep doing this very carefully like this until he's very close to the platform. This should probably work. So now you can see that he's mostly off the ledge. What I'd like to do then is I'd like to target, see up, and look all the way to the right. That's because sidewalking is 1 unit below when he will hop for you, which means that you can consistently walk as high speed as you can without him jumping for you. Now, if you look at the platform above me, do you see how there is a giant yellow block above me? You want to stand on the left corner of this yellow block. And as you can see, I'm about on the left side right here, around here. You also want to try and stand about here on the platform. After this, you need to do a lot of things at once, so I'm going to have to do this quickly, but this is what you want to do. You want to have your arrows equipped with normal arrows. you also want to equip your Tingle Tuner on the X button. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you an example without shooting the Morph. Is, as you can see now, I can see the Morph. And also, by the way, the arrow goes slightly through the platform. So even if I aim here, even though it's going to hit the platform, the Morph is close enough, it's still going to work. But basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot the platform, or basically shoot the Morph. Immediately afterwards, I can press the Tingle Tuner button because it takes me out of it. But I want to do that with the glitch I did. So you want to shoot the Morph, then immediately Tingle Tuner and pause the game. Then switch to bombs so you get the bombs in your hand. After that, you want to make sure you do this exact setup. You want to place the bomb with R and slash your sword on the bomb without holding target. If you hold target, the bomb slash is going to angle you to the left. If you're not targeted, it's going to angle you slightly to the right, which is going to give you a perfect angle into the platform. So let me try and do all of that now at once. Oops. Oh, whatever. That should work. Wait. I hope this works. Okay. Okay. Drop, slash, target, then A, B, 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 B. Line it up so you can see the heart, then go above the platform, hover up, slowly drop, land on the heart, you survive the hover. Now when you're up on the platform here, you can simply just enter the fight, and you're now ready for the final boss fight. You have now officially done Morph Hover, you skip the hook shot, and you can officially complete Wind Waker. Now there's a few things I want to mention during the Ganon fight. I'm going to speed through this cutscene because it's a pretty long cutscene for YouTube. There's nothing really to go over here. Just press A and B throughout the text. There's a couple of things I want to point out during the fight, though. That's very good to know. So I'm going to do that when we get there. Alright. Alright, so last fight is finally coming up. Hope you guys enjoy. The link is huge. I'm sure that was at least in your mind when we sped that up through. So, during this boss fight, you will notice that I only have one heart. So there's something special you can do right here. So if you have the grappling hook, you can actually grapple hearts from Zelda. So what I like to do is stand completely still, but take out the grappling hook in my hand. Then Zelda's going to jump back right here when Ganon jumps forward. Then you want to target Zelda, you want to grapple hook her. That's going to give you 3 hearts, but only 2 because, you know, I only have 3 hearts. Then you want to walk so Ganon faces away, spin the attack 3 times, talk to Zelda again, walk away, spin attack another 2 times, or just hit him twice. It doesn't really matter because you're doing more damage than you need. Then talk to Zelda the last time. Then that arrow is going to finish Ganon off. Now for this part, what you want to do is do this. You want to move away, closer, then press A on the last split second. Quick spin, quick spin, quick spin. Backflip, backflip. Wait, forward, A on the last second. Spin attack, roll towards Zelda. And then you're going to go up, you're going to talk to Zelda, you're going to move away, make sure that she can actually see your shield, so you're at a good angle. Target Ganon, target him, go up, when you see the parry, target, press A, time ends there, GG, you have now successfully gotten through all of Wind Waker any percent. That's right, you have officially, if you followed along this tutorial, finished your very first speedrun of The Legend of Zelda, the Wind Waker any percent. GG, congratulations, that was amazing. You did a great job, Chad, and you did a great job, YouTube. Anyways. So yeah. But yeah, there's not really anything left after this point. You kind of just go through the credits and then that's kind of it. So, yeah, this is going to be the end of the tutorial. But yeah, if you guys did enjoy this tutorial video, or if you enjoy speedrun content in general, glitch updates, you name it, be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. I post a ton of different content. I try and post around weekly. Sometimes it's a little bit difficult with the stream, but I try my very best. If you also want to see speedruns live of any of the Zelda games, you should definitely check out the Twitch channel at twitch.tv/Linkus7. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you have any more questions, feel free to leave a comment down in the comment section. And I'm sure that, you know, hopefully I can get to all the comments and respond to as many as I can to answer any questions you might have. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. Later, guys. Bye-bye.